iron. Wang Yong glanced at Lin Hui. Brother Hui, should we not retreat? If we press forward, we are bound to encounter one or two easy targets. And then we can deal with them effortlessly. It's too late. Lin Hui shook his head. The three of them looked perplexed. Too late? Lin Hui stated sternly. Since this morning, the Red Army has likely suffered significant losses at the hands of the Blue Army. If we delay any further, by tomorrow morning, the command center may announce the total annihilation of our division. What then can the four of us do? Suda furrowed his brow, carefully analyzing the situation. Based on previous circumstances, the Blue Army's strength far exceeds that of the Red Army. If the regiment's headquarters could be located in such a remote area and still be obliterated, one can only imagine the condition of the division headquarters. Although they had undergone numerous exercises, this was the most perplexing for him. He simply could not grasp the Blue Army strategy. It was precisely this lack of understanding that rendered the situation most perilous. Currently, what the Red Army lacked most was time. If it dragged on until morning, there might truly be no opportunity left. What should we do then? Chun Eru grew anxious. I still want to achieve merit and showcase my abilities. I cannot simply return like this. I refuse to accept it. Wang Yong echoed the sentiment. We absolutely cannot let this slip away. Brother Hui, you decide what to do. Just follow my lead. Lin Hui looked at Suda, squad leader. Suda regarded him with a smile and nodded. I am in accord with your plan. At this moment, you are the battlefield commander. Once a mere soldier, he had transformed into what he was now. Suda felt a swell of pride for him. Furthermore, since Lin Hui's arrival, he had led the 6th Company forward with valor. Without him, Suda would never have regained his confidence. Nor would he have managed to escape from the village. Lin Hui smiled faintly. Let's go. He was the first to crawl out low to the ground, with the others closely following behind. Lin Hui's night vision had been significantly enhanced, allowing him to perceive a 30-meter radius as brightly as daylight. He could even distinctly see a sentry lying in the grass nearby, vigilantly scanning the surroundings. Not far off, there was also a visible sentry on duty. Follow me. Lin Hui changed direction, leading the group to circumvent the area and stealthily crawl into the camp. Upon entering, they quickly concealed themselves behind a tent. Wang Yong's heart raced with excitement, feeling like a thief. This is thrilling. Chun Eru anxiously asked. Brother Hui, what should we do now? Should we burn their tents? I brought a lighter. This one is made of nylon. It must be quite good. Lin Hui slapped it away. What good is burning this thing? Are you planning to open a window for ventilation? Moreover, this is public property. Who knows if we will be held liable for damages when this is all over? Chun Eru awkwardly scratched his head. So what shall we do? Lin Hui closed his eyes, inhaled deeply, and suddenly smiled. I have a plan. Follow me. The three followed closely behind him, quickly circumventing to the rear of the camp. There, several tents had been set up, inside which 2 large pots were being stirred continuously by 2 cooks. The aroma of the food wafted through the air. Brother Hui, why are we here? Chun Eru sniffed the air, looking intoxicated. Are we going to eat first? I'm just in time. I'm starving. Wang Yong was bewildered. What? Brother Hui, you can't be serious about bringing us here to eat. Lin Hui glared at him. Get lost. We're here to stir things up. Stop thinking about food. The group collectively rolled their eyes. After all this, we just ended up with a logistics team? We thought it would be something grand. But it turns out we found a soft target. Chapter 64. Don't do too much, or it'll get messy. Lin Hui dashed forward in a single leap. The three were left stunned. Damn, at least give us a heads up. You just charged in. Suda did not hesitate and followed suit. You two stay put. Chun Eru hesitated. Should we go? Team leader Su told us not to move. Wang Yong shot him a glare. Brother Hui has already gone in. Are we just going to stand here and watch? But I don't know how to fight. Chun Eru protested. Do you think I do? We're just here to enjoy the show, with Brother Hui around. What is there to fear? Oh right. The two exchanged mischievous smiles and hurried after him. Inside the tent, the logistics team leader, Dezhou, was cooking. Upon seeing several unfamiliar faces, he immediately frowned. Who are you? Do you not know this is a restricted area? Who let you in? Get out, hurry up. Lin Hui grinned. Team leader, don't you recognize me? The leader looked puzzled. Who are you? It's me, Xiaojiang. Remember the last time you borrowed my tricycle to buy groceries? Before the leader could process this information, Lin Hui delivered a punch directly to his face. Bang! The leader fell to the ground, unconscious. Everyone around was dumbfounded. What just happened? How did he knock the leader out? Who the hell is this guy? You bastards, how dare you hit someone? Grab your weapons and get them. The other logistics personnel immediately seized kitchen knives and iron spoons and charged forward. Lin Hui, the top fighter in the regiment, displayed overwhelming strength, taking down one person with each punch. Suda was also a skilled fighter, and together they swiftly subdued the logistics team. Meanwhile, Wang Yong and Chun Eru found themselves in a bit of a predicament. Lin Hui looked at them. You two all right? I'm fine. Wang Yong panted on the ground, bruised and battered. The rumors are true. No wonder they say the logistics team is tough. In just this short time, I've taken 7 or 8 punches. Lin Hui chuckled. Knowing you can't win, why didn't you stay back? Shun Eru covered his nose, sorrowfully lamenting. We had been hiding in the back, intending to fish for opportunities, but those rascals, realizing they couldn't best you, simply charged in to shield me from the onslaught. How utterly despicable. Suda laughed until tears streamed down his face. I told you to stay put. Why did you come over? Wang Yong, brimming with indignation, rose to his feet. If you all have gone in, how can we possibly stay out? Besides, we thought the logistics team were all pushovers. Suda chuckled heartily. Who told you that all logistics personnel are soft targets? Only those with commendable military prowess in the combat units are reassigned to logistics. Otherwise, when the drill comes, can they really carry pots and bags of rice with such agility? Wang Yong, on the verge of tears, exclaimed, I've truly learned something today. From now on, I'll steer clear of them. Suda interjected, What are you doing? Are you being a rogue? Turning his head, he caught sight of Lin Hui removing the squad leader's uniform. Without glancing back, Lin Hui retorted, Stop with the nonsense. Hurry and strip their clothes off to change into them. Suda was momentarily taken aback, but quickly pieced it together. You can't possibly be thinking of wearing their clothes to blend in, right? Lin Hui replied, Pretty much. Suda questioned, But will that even work? If you don their uniforms, they'll recognize your faces, and even if you move to another location, there are commands. It won't take long for the ruse to unravel. Lin Hui chuckled. Who said I was planning to go elsewhere? We'll stay right here and take them all down. The three fell silent, incredulous. With just this few, how could they possibly overpower the entire logistics team? There were hundreds of people here. Even Thanos would end up receiving a couple of slaps, let alone these few. Wang Yong hastily stood up, patting Lin Hui on the forehead. Brother Hui, are you feeling feverish? We might at best handle a logistics team. But to think we could take down everyone here? Each one of them could drown us with a mere splash. That's absurd. Shun Eru retorted angrily. It would only take a spit from each. Lin Hui rolled his eyes. Enough of your foolishness. Do you still want to achieve merit? If not, you can leave. I'll manage with the squad leader. Of course, we wanna. They both instantly nodded in agreement, bowing like sycophants. We were just joking around. No need to be angry. We'll change into the uniforms right away. They quickly crouched down to strip off their clothes. Suda watched with suspicion, feeling a sense of uncertainty. Yet Lin Hui's confidence instilled a glimmer of hope within him. After all, he had witnessed one miracle after another from Lin Hui. Gritting his teeth, he resolved, Fine, we're already in this mess. Let us see it through to the end. Before long, all four had donned the uniforms of the cooking team. The few individuals who had been knocked out were dragged outside the tent and covered with straw. Lin Hui clapped his hands. These guys will be out for at least 2 or 3 hours. Back inside the tent, Wang Yong remained perplexed. Brother Hui, I still cannot fathom how just the 4 of us could possibly take down the entire camp. I understand now. Shun Eru suddenly slapped his forehead, feeling a surge of enlightenment. All eyes turned to him, even Lin Hui displaying a look of surprise. What have you figured out? Shun Eru chuckled, giving a thumbs up. It must be Brother Hui who is truly remarkable. This method is indeed beyond the imagination of ordinary folk. No wonder he brought us to the logistics team. Lin Hui, intrigued, inquired, What do you mean? Shun Eru replied earnestly. Brother Hui must be planning to use gas canisters to blow them all up. Uffed. The 3 of them collectively spat blood in disbelief. Even Lin Hui thought to himself, This guy is utterly ridiculous. Did he leave his brain at home? Suda, standing nearby, wore a face of utter disbelief. I can't believe after all this time, this fool remains as clueless as ever. Shin Eru, belatedly realizing the absurdity, asked, What's wrong? Did I say something incorrect? Wang Yong patted him on the back. Oh, you really are something else. This is just a drill. If you cause any casualties, we would all be dragged off for execution. Even if we die, our names would be forever disgraced. What were you thinking? Shun Eru scratched his head. So what should we do? We have no weapons. How are we supposed to deal with them? Wang Yong scoffed. With that brain of yours, what could you possibly come up with? Brother Hui, what do you suggest? Shin Eru rolled his eyes. You don't have any ideas either, yet you blame me. Lin Hui smiled and asked, Do you know the purpose of my attack on the cooking team? Wang Yong and Chun Eru exchanged glances. Are you planning to blow them up with gas canisters? Lin Hui, infuriated, kicked each of them once. You 2 idiots. He had no patience for further nonsense. Cook. Hurry up. The 3 of them were momentarily dumbfounded. They were adept at eating, but cooking? Just as they stood there in confusion, Lin Hui tossed 3 small bottles their way. The trio was astonished. What are these? Laxatives. Lin Hui replied nonchalantly. In a bit, you will mix them into the food. They will be here for a meal soon, so hurry up. Wang Yong and the others sprang up in shock. What the hell? Brother Hui, you actually carry laxatives with you? Lin Hui rolled his eyes. What are you getting all excited about? It's not like I'm carrying aphrodisiacs. Suda was equally bewildered. Why on earth do you have laxatives? Lin Hui chuckled. Before the drill, the commander mentioned that we must eliminate the enemy at all costs. So I thought, if one day we need to abandon our position and retreat, we could add a little something to our meals, if the enemy comes to eat. Wouldn't that be delightful? Truly, Brother Hui is impressive. The two immediately gave him a thumbs up, utterly in admiration. Such a wicked idea was something no ordinary person would conceive. Suda gazed at the bottle in hand, his mouth twitching. This kid is truly devious. No wonder he managed to get himself into such a predicament before. I'm genuinely impressed. Lin Hui urged, hurry up. Remember not to add too much, otherwise, it'll be a disaster. Just as he finished speaking, Chin Eru accidentally dropped the entire contents of his bottle into the large pot. Oh no, I poured it all in. Lin Hui, exasperated, sighed. Forget it, let us just go with it. Quickly stir it, or it will burn. Oh. The two grabbed spatulas, bustling around energetically. As they cooked, they surprisingly found their rhythm, tossing in seasonings from the table with enthusiasm. Wang Yong, enjoying himself, suddenly asked with curiosity, Brother Hui, do you think what we're doing could kill someone? Chin Eru also paused. Yeah, could this stuff cause health issues? Lin Hui shook his head. I don't know. You don't know? The three individuals stared in horror, their eyes wide as they gazed upon the two enormous pots of food, utterly dumbfounded. This was no mere cooking. It was akin to concocting poison. Lin Hui coughed and said, what's so strange about it? This is my first time using this ingredient. Who knows how effective it is? I suppose it should be fine. Right? Suda, in a panic, exclaimed, Brother Hui, we can't just suppose. What if it truly harms someone? At that moment, a voice suddenly shouted from a distance, hey, is the food ready? We're starving over here. Lin Hui glanced outside and whispered to the others, what's the rush? This is a laxative, not poison. How could it possibly kill someone? At most, it will help them clear their bowels. We're doing a good deed, and without seeking recognition. The three were bitter smiles, thinking, this is hardly a good deed. It's as if we're opening the door to mischief. Let us take our chances. Lin Hui chuckled, that's the spirit. Fortune favors the bold. Only those who dare can win. He cleared his throat and called out loudly, all right. The food is ready. Hurry over to eat. Chapter 65, Transforming into Jet-Propelled Warriors Mealtime. Lin Hui shouted, igniting a flurry of activity within the camp, the sound of footsteps echoing everywhere. Chin Eru discreetly grabbed a piece of braised pork. Just as he was about to put it in his mouth, Lin Hui swatted it away. Are you trying to get sick? Brother Hui, I'm so hungry. Let us focus on the task at hand first. Once we're done, you can eat to your heart's content. Lin Hui urged, quickly, serve the dishes into the bowls, move swiftly. The three complied without hesitation, hastily transferring the food into large bowls. In the camp, meals were served in a divided manner. Although conditions were a bit rough outdoors, they still maintained this custom. Soon, all the food was neatly arranged in the bowls. Observing the throngs of people approaching, Lin Hui said sternly, prepare yourselves. Our fate hinges on this moment. The three swallowed hard, realizing they were within enemy lines. Any hint of a mistake could spell disaster. Wang Yong anxiously asked, do you think we'll be discovered? Lin Hui shook his head, keep your hat low and retreat into the shadows. As long as they can't see your face and your head is buried low enough, we'll be fine. The three quickly lowered their hats and stepped into the darkness, silently praying, please don't let us be discovered. Before long, a long line formed outside the tent. Lin Hui tapped a large spoon against a metal bowl, lowering his voice to shout, everyone, form an orderly line. Serve the food in turn. Take only what you can eat, no waste. You there, stand still, no cutting in line. Got it. Came the chorus of responses from the queue. Wang Yong discreetly gave Lin Hui a thumbs up. Impressive, Brother Hui. You've mimicked them so well that I almost thought you really worked in the mess hall. Lin Hui chuckled, just a small feat. He had learned by observing the head cook of the 6th company. After hearing it enough times, one naturally picked it up. By 8 o'clock in the evening, everyone was ravenous, their stomachs growling. All eyes were fixated on the bowls, with no one noticing Lin Hui and the others. They swiftly finished serving the food and quickly found a place to crouch or stand to eat. After all, they needed to be ready for any unforeseen circumstances. A simple meal to fill their bellies was all that mattered. At that moment, Lin Hui's pupils constricted sharply as he noticed several officers approaching from a distance. Su Da's complexion also changed. It's over, officers are coming. The junior soldiers were preoccupied with their meals, yet the officers would undoubtedly take notice of them. When that happened, they would surely be exposed. Wang Yong and Chin Eru immediately panicked. What should we do, we go? We're going to be found out. Lin Hui smiled faintly. Don't panic. We've nearly finished our tasks. It's time to retreat gracefully. With a wave of his hand, he led the three of them stealthily away from behind the shed. Just as they departed, the officers approached, drawn by the aroma wafting through the air. The leading major glanced down and exclaimed, wow, old Joe, today's fare is quite impressive. Braised pork and roasted chicken legs, far better than lunch. He leaned in to sniff, only to furrow his brow. Why is it burnt? Old Joe, what on earth have you cooked? Where is everyone? The major looked around, but not a single soul was in sight. A nearby officer chuckled. They probably didn't team manage the heat well and were afraid of being scolded, so they skedaddled the moment they saw you. The major spat in annoyance. Those imbeciles, they actually know how to run away? Once we finish eating, I'll deal with them. Everyone, hurry up and eat. We need to depart tonight. The officers hastily dished up some food and began to wolf it down. Lin Hui cautiously peeked out from behind the shed, a mischievous grin on his face. It seems you two are quite skilled. You're all enjoying your meal, aren't you? Indeed, Wang Yong replied with pride. After all, we're at a production base, specialized in pig farming. Preparing some food is a piece of cake. Feeding pigs and feeding people are essentially the same. Chun Eru chuckled. Watching them eat reminds me of those piglets in the pigsty. They're enjoying their meal just as much. Lin Hui laughed heartily. Exactly. I thought this scene looked familiar. Sudan nearly spat blood. You're comparing people to pigs? No wonder you two were so enthusiastic about cooking. You treated it like pig feed. But I suppose it is fitting for your specialization. At least it's all food. Lin Hui waved his hand. Let us go. While they're eating, the camp is empty. We should procure some supplies. All right. The three of them chuckled and followed him, vanishing into the camp. Goodness, why is today's meal so salty? The meat is burnt. Squad leader Zhou, what is the meaning of this? Why make the food so unpalatable? Is this deliberate? Everyone grumbled as they ate. The major chewed through a piece of meat with great difficulty, as if it were tough toffee. Damn it, today's meal tastes like pig slop. Call the entire cooking team over after this. Let them taste what they've prepared. Perhaps it was too rushed? Rush my foot. The major fumed. Is it acceptable to falter during an exercise? Especially at times like this, one should strive to excel. With food prepared like this, who can stomach it? How are the soldiers supposed to maintain their strength and be ready for battle? A nearby officer nodded. After we finish eating, I'll drag them out. They're probably hiding somewhere now. The major scoffed, about to speak when suddenly his stomach churned uncomfortably. Oh no, I need to use the restroom. My stomach hurts. As he stood up, the officer beside him immediately furrowed his brow. You know, I think I might be feeling a bit unwell too. What a coincidence. Another officer clasped his stomach and spoke. Just now, my belly was rumbling like a battle, but I didn't dare to say anything. At that moment, a sudden uproar erupted around them. Why is my stomach hurting? I can't hold it anymore. I need to use the restroom. Move aside, everyone. I'm about to burst. In an instant, many people dropped their food bowls and dashed toward the barracks exit. The colonel glanced at the bowls, his eyes blazing with fury. That damned old Joe. What kind of dish is he cooking? It's bad enough that it tastes terrible. Now I have diarrhea too. I'm going to make him pay for this. Oh no, oh no. Remember to bring me some paper. I can't hold it any longer, he exclaimed, clutching his backside as he sprinted outside. In a tent on the west side of the camp, Lin Hui and a few others poked their heads out. They saw a throng of people rushing out of the camp, many of them running with their legs crossed. Some even had high-pitched voices, resembling those who had just been castrated. Wang Yong looked at Lin Hui and chuckled. Brother Hui, you're truly devious. This trick is too wicked. Chun Eru nodded in agreement. Exactly. How come I never noticed before that Brother Hui had such a mischievous side? Suda rolled his eyes. I noticed it long ago. Lin Hui scoffed. You guys don't understand anything. Warfare is all about cunning. Otherwise, how could we take down so many? Besides, this exercise is real combat. They are our enemies, and we must be ruthless. Not giving them any aphrodisiacs is already quite generous. The three jumped in alarm. This scene is too beautiful. We can hardly imagine it. Suda was so frightened that his hair stood on end. Fortunately, he was on the same side as Lin Hui. Otherwise, he would be doomed eventually. With a click, Lin Hui chambered around, his expression icy. Let us go. Stop watching. We have work to do. This is truly exhilarating. The other three exchanged glances and shared a mischievous grin. Fully armed, they swaggered outside with their guns in hand. Just as they reached the barracks entrance, they suddenly heard the distant sound of cannon fire. Puff, puff, puff. Oh, how satisfying. Wang Yong pinched his nose, looking disgusted. It stinks. What did they eat last time? The smell is overwhelming. Lin Hui rolled his eyes. Is your own excrement fragrant? Enough chatter. Let us finish this quickly. He scanned the area. His night vision made the surroundings as bright as day. Soon, Lin Hui's gaze locked onto a major who was squatting next to several officers, visibly distressed. Let us start from here. Lin Hui grinned as he and his companions approached him. The major, clutching toilet paper, grimaced in pain. What on earth did that old Joe put in the food today? It feels like I've taken laxatives. Once I catch him, he'll be confined. Just then, he suddenly looked up and saw 4 figures approaching from a distance. Mistaking them for members of the cooking team, the major's anger flared. You lot finally decided to show yourselves. What kind of rubbish did you prepare today to make everyone? In the next moment, he stood frozen, bewildered. Who were these 4 individuals? Dressed in the attire of the cookhouse, yet not belonging to the cookhouse. Who are you? Lin Hui chuckled. Commander, You just savored the meal we prepared. How can you now disavow us? He inquired. How was the food? The major, momentarily incensed, was about to retort when a sudden ruckus erupted behind him. His expression transformed into one of bewilderment. Ah, indeed. Lin Hui pinched his nose and raised his thumb. A commander is indeed a commander. Your calls resonate louder than anyone else's. The major, infuriated, exclaimed, You rascals, you are from the red team. Correct. Lin Hui replied with a grin, but there is no reward. The major was seething with rage. Even if he were dim-witted, he comprehended the situation. It was evident that these rascals had stealthily infiltrated, incapacitated the cooks, and tainted the food with laxatives. Infuriated, he thought, I shall flay you alive for this audacity. Lin Hui frowned. Commander, your words are misplaced. All is fair in war. In the exercise, you are our adversaries. If we can add laxatives to your meal, we could easily have poisoned it. You would all be deceased by now. Curse you. The major fumed, just as he prepared to rise. He felt the barrel of a gun pressed against his chest. Lin Hui, with a smile, said, Commander, please adhere to the exercise rules. Otherwise, I shall be compelled to desecrate your remains. The major was fuming with rage. You dare? Suddenly, a gunshot rang out. A powerful blast knocked the major back, sending him sprawling to the ground. Enraged, he leaped up, disregarding the sticky substance on his backside. You scoundrel. At that moment, the four assailants fired simultaneously, unleashing a barrage upon their surroundings. Chapter 66. The blue team, infuriated, must capture those four vermin. After a series of gunshots, red smoke erupted from the blue team's combatants. The smoke detection devices were affixed not only to their helmets, but also to their bodies. Once the exercise commenced, they were required to wear them at all times. Removing them would constitute a violation, even during meals or restroom breaks. Observing the billowing red smoke in the darkness, Lin Hui chuckled. What a spectacular sight. Click. Wang Yong replaced his magazine and bellowed. Who else is there? Your grandmother. Lin Hui kicked him. Finish off the rest before you show off. He produced a grenade. Let us seek the joy of childhood mischief. Absolutely. The three of them grinned mischievously. Here comes the fun. Dozens of exercise grenades were hurled. Boom. The explosions sent debris soaring, and soon, a rain of yellow descended from the sky. Damn it, it's feces. Everyone, duck and don't open your mouths. Heavens. What if there's poison in it? Ugh. The blue team soldiers, startled by the sudden chaos, quickly lowered their heads and sealed their lips, allowing the cold yellow rain to drench them. A few unfortunate souls were knocked over by the shockwave of the explosions, landing face first on the ground in a comical fashion. The scene was filled with cries, wails, and retching, creating a cacophony. When they finally dared to look up, Lin Hui and his companions had vanished. Where did they go? They ran away. The major was covered in mud, furiously roaring. Damn it. I curse your ancestors for generations. You wretched scoundrels. If I catch you, I will surely flay your skin off. Ugh, it stinks. Hearing the roar behind them, Lin Hui and his three companions exchanged sly smiles and quickened their pace. They certainly did not wish to be forcefully inundated with trouble. Bang! They flung open the car door and simultaneously jumped into a jeep. Shun Eru's face was flushed with excitement. This battle reminds me of my childhood, just like blowing up a latrine with firecrackers. Wang Yong slapped him on the head. As if you're the only one who has ever done that. He turned to Lin Hui, urging, Brother Hui, hurry and drive. If these fellows catch up, we'll be done for. Lin Hui smiled reassuringly. Don't panic. These guys want to be up on their feet for at least a good 10 minutes. Even if they do manage to stand, they'll be like limp shrimp. And by then, we'll have made our escape. Wang Yong chuckled. That's good to hear. Let's get going. This time it's exhilarating. Indeed, Lin Hui nodded. Yet remained still. Wang Yong, puzzled, asked, Brother Hui, why aren't you moving? Suda also looked at him curiously. What are you waiting for? If you don't drive, we'll be at their mercy. Lin Hui awkwardly touched the steering wheel, embarrassed. I've only driven automatic cars. I don't know how to operate a manual. In his previous life, he was merely a corporate drone, commuting solely by subway and bus, never having owned a car or a license. The original owner had a license, but it was only for an automatic. He had no clue how to handle a manual transmission, especially how to engage the clutch or shift gears. Consequently, all the cars at home were automatic. Suda was exasperated. You can't drive, yet you sit in the driver's seat? Move aside. Lin Hui chuckled awkwardly. Who said one had to know how to drive a manual? Automatics are so much easier. Why bother learning the manual? He stepped out of the car and approached Suda. What are you looking at me for? Suda demanded. You're driving, right? Lin Hui replied. Suda's face turned crimson. I can't either. The three of them exclaimed in unison. What the hell? Lin Hui was at a loss for words. Squad leader. After all this time, you can't drive either? Aren't you an 8-year veteran? Driving should be a piece of cake for you. Suda rolled his eyes. Nonsense. Who said soldiers must know how to drive? I haven't even taken the driving test. Lin Hui was speechless. At least he could operate an automatic, while Suda couldn't drive at all. How was this squad leader appointed? A stern reprimand was in order. He turned to Wang Yong and Chen Eru. Which of you two can drive? Chen Eru quickly shook his head. I've driven before, but only a tricycle. Lin Hui rolled his eyes. Why didn't you mention you could drive a tractor? Chen Eru scratched his head, grinning foolishly. Wang Yong, however, was quite enthusiastic. I may not have a license, but I'm quite adept at racing games in the arcade. If you're not afraid of a little risk, I'm willing to give it a shot, but if we crash, don't blame me. Lin Hui shot him a glare. Get lost. So, among the four of them, none could drive? He simply jumped out of the car. All right, everyone get out. If no one can drive, what is the point of sitting in here? We might as well rely on our feet. Chen Eru expressed his curiosity. The 11th route. Are there still buses? Wang Yong rolled his eyes in response. Are you foolish? The 11th route simply refers to our two legs. The group disembarked from the vehicle, following Lin Hui as they embarked on a thorough sweep of the camp. Upon gazing at the diverse array of items within the armory, he rubbed his hands together, exclaiming, let us not be modest. Take whatever you wish. Today, it's a $0 shopping spree. Seize as much as you can. The other three, their faces aglow with excitement, joyfully began to gather explosives, ammunition, grenades, and individual rations, collecting whatever they could. Once they had thoroughly plundered the supplies, they felt a sense of satisfaction as they withdrew. They swiftly exited the camp from another side and entered a nearby grove. The biting cold wind swept through, causing everyone to shiver. Yet it could not diminish their fervent exhilaration. Chen Eru eagerly inquired, Brother Hui, does capturing an entire battalion of the Blue Army count as a significant achievement? Lin Hui nodded affirmatively. Absolutely. Wang Yong, filled with curiosity, asked, will there be any rewards? Lin Hui, with a beaming smile, replied, of course. The four of us took out an entire battalion. Each of us is likely to receive a second-class merit. Wang Yong and Chen Eru joyfully embraced, bouncing with glee, chanting, second-class merit, we've achieved it too. If we were feeding pigs at the base, we'd never have such prospects. Nearby, Suda, overwhelmed with emotion, nearly shed tears. If he could attain a second-class merit, it would mean he could truly remain. Lin Hui observed them. All right, don't get too carried away. This is merely my speculation. Whether we actually receive it will depend on the conclusion of the exercise. Then what are we waiting for? Let us wrap this up quickly. Wang Yong urged. Wrap up what? Lin Hui was momentarily taken aback. Wang Yong chuckled. Brother Hui, didn't you just say we should wait for the exercise to end? If we just slice our throats with a knife, wouldn't that be the end? Chen Eru slapped his forehead. Oh, how did I not think of that? Once the exercise concludes, we'll have our second-class merit. Let us hurry and commit collective suicide. Lin Hui nearly choked in disbelief. Is this truly how you interpret things? He turned to Suda, exasperated yet amused. Squad leader, look at what kind of soldiers you've trained. Suda promptly stepped back. This has nothing to do with me. I've only trained them for 3 months, and those two are your brothers. Noticing the disdainful expressions on their faces, Wang Yong felt bewildered. What's wrong? Am I mistaken? Of course you are. Lin Hui glared at him. Suicide? What were you thinking? Those who do that are injured and can't retreat. They perish heroically alongside the enemy. You two, on the other hand, would be akin to cowards. When we get out of here, don't even think about claiming to know me. It would be utterly embarrassing. Wang Yong awkwardly chuckled. Well, it's my first time participating in an exercise. I lack experience. So what should we do next? Lin Hui, with a hint of irritation, said, we continue. The bigger the operation, the more enemies we eliminate, the better. Who knows, it might turn into a first-class merit instead of just a second. A first-class merit? No way. That's something we wouldn't even dare dream of. Wang Yong exclaimed, exhilarated. If we achieve a first-class merit, I won't be tightening screws at an electronics factory anymore. I might even secure a position in a government office. Chen Eru's eyes sparkled with excitement. If I were to earn a first-class merit upon my return, the young maidens from miles around would surely queue up for a chance to court me. Even the village beauty would call me Brother Hu. Suda felt an overwhelming surge of exhilaration as well. Should he achieve a first-class merit, not only would he secure his position, but promotion would also be within reach. Even if his educational qualifications fell short, it would be of no consequence. Observing the fervent enthusiasm of the trio, Lin Hui smiled faintly. Since you yearn for glory, do not linger idly. Let us venture forth and engage the Blue Army once more. Onward. The three of them shouted in unison, following Lin Hui into the forest, disappearing from sight. An hour later, at the Blue Army headquarters, Commander Jiang Yunlong surveyed the battle map with a broad smile. The 602nd has only 2 battered regiments remaining. I am quite eager to see how much longer they can endure. The Chief of Staff chuckled. They are merely hanging by a thread. It cannot last much longer. Jiang Yunlong turned to him. When will our forces be fully assembled? The Chief of Staff replied. By noon tomorrow at the latest. We can launch a full-scale assault at any time. Excellent. Jiang Yunlong slammed his fist on the table. By tomorrow noon. We shall ensure that old fellow Liu from the 602nd witnesses firsthand just how antiquated their tactics truly are. At that moment, an officer burst through the door. Jiang Yunlong raised his head and laughed heartily. Look, another piece of good news has arrived. The officer, somewhat awkward, reported, Commander, I have just received word that our subordinate missile composite battalion has been completely annihilated. The smiles of everyone instantly froze. And Jiang Yunlong's expression darkened. How can this be possible? It is true. The chief of staff, anxious, inquired. The missile composite battalion is stationed in the rear. Given the distance and the fact that the Red Army has been severely weakened, they could not possibly deploy extra forces. How could they be completely wiped out? The officer shook his head. I am not certain of the specifics, but I heard that 4 Red Army spies infiltrated the camp and administered laxatives in the food. Those individuals took advantage of the chaos when everyone was afflicted and executed them all. What did you say? It is said that the scene was quite tragic. When they came to collect the bodies, it was a gruesome sight. Everyone gasped in shock. The imagery was disturbingly vivid, and they could almost envision a group of individuals crouching on the ground, overwhelmed. The grenades exploded, sending a yellow rain of chaos into the air. Many, it was said, died without even managing to pull up their trousers. Jiang Yunlong slammed his fist down on the table. Those despicable scoundrels. The Red Army is utterly shameless. Poisoning our men's meals and launching a surprise attack while they are incapacitated, such dishonor in warfare. The chief of staff chuckled awkwardly. Bringing in special forces for assistance and conducting surprise attacks before the exercise even begins does seem somewhat unethical. Find them. Jiang Yunlong exclaimed angrily. We must dig them out from the depths. These foul vermin must be brought to justice and made to pay dearly for their treachery. Chapter 67. You are simply lacking in morals. As dawn gradually broke, a patch of grass suddenly stirred. Lin Hui stretched lazily and emerged from his makeshift shelter. A refreshing slumber indeed. You are awake? Lin Hui turned to see Su De offering him a water bottle. Thank you, squad leader. Lin Hui did not hold back, taking large gulps of water. After running for most of the night, having only rested for 3 hours, he was indeed quite thirsty. Su De looked at him and inquired, what should we do next? Lin Hui paused for a moment, suddenly feeling as if he resembled the squad leader, while Su De seemed more like a novice soldier. He returned the water bottle with a smile and said, if my guess is correct, the Blue Army must be quite frustrated right now, digging deep to find us. Su De chuckled bitterly. Isn't that obvious? 4 of us took down several hundred of them. If we were defeated by the main forces of the Red Army, that would be one thing. But to be taken out by just the 4 of us using such tactics would be utterly humiliating. Even if the Blue Army ultimately wins the exercise, their commander will surely be embarrassed. Especially those Blue Army soldiers who met their demise without even pulling up their pants. They will likely carry psychological scars for life. Have you thought about how to proceed? Lin Hui nodded. I plan to draw them away. Su De was taken aback. You intend to use yourself as bait? Absolutely not. Lin Hui replied. Squad leader. Su De interrupted decisively. No matter what, you cannot be harmed. You are our backbone, as long as you are alive. You might create even more miracles. Leave the baiting to me. Just as Lin Hui was about to speak, Su De waved his hand again, interrupting him. No need to persuade me. You've already made significant contributions this time. That's enough. You have done more than enough for me. I cannot let you take risks. Our regiment is gone. As the squad leader, I should do something for you. Lin Hui sighed. Squad leader, you misunderstand. I did not intend to persuade you. Su Da's face fell, feeling that he had wasted his emotions. Could you at least show a bit of humility? Compete with me for once. Otherwise, it leaves me feeling quite embarrassed. Lin Hui chuckled. Squad leader, what I mean is, neither of us should act as bait. Su De looked bewildered. If we don't act as bait, how do we lure the enemy away? Lin Hui patted his Blue Army uniform. The signal sensors on our uniforms contain a small chip that continuously transmits signals outward. Both the red and blue sides can pick it up. Wearing Blue Army clothing, the chip operates on their frequency, and if they employ high-tech equipment, they can easily locate us. He then produced a smoke sensor from his gear. Upon opening it, there indeed was a small chip inside. This device primarily receives laser signals and prevents soldiers from getting lost, functioning similarly to GPS. Though it may seem insignificant, it is quite valuable and should not be carelessly lost. Su De stared at the small chip in Lin Hui's hand, furrowing his brows. Suddenly, his eyes lit up. Are you suggesting that we leave this behind to create a smokescreen for the Blue Army? Lin Hui chuckled. You guessed half of it. Su De scratched his head, looking puzzled. Lin Hui continued. The device is inanimate. If we leave it here, anyone could easily deduce that we have taken the chip. Moreover, if they trace it back to us, it won't be long before we are caught. If they dispatch helicopters, it would be nearly impossible to escape. Su De fixed his gaze on him. So, What exactly are you trying to convey? Lin Hui chuckled softly, slapping his palm against the nearby haystack. In the next moment, Wang Yong sprang out like a coiled spring, drool hanging from the corner of his mouth. What's going on? What happened? Chun Eru immediately scrambled up from the grass. Is it the enemy? Lin Hui replied with a smile. The sun's shining on our backsides. It's time to rise and get to work. The two men looked around in confusion, their faces displaying a sense of despair. Brother Hui, if there are no enemies, let us sleep a little longer. We've run all night and are utterly exhausted. Lin Hui snorted. Sleep? How can you sleep with the enemy at hand? Get your spirits up. Don't you want to earn first-class merit? We do. The two instantly perked up. Lin Hui regarded them. If you want it, then prepare to act. Act against whom? Against wild boars. The three were taken aback. What? Wang Yong exclaimed in shock. Brother Hui, that's not something we should mess with. Chun Eru nodded in agreement. Yes. I've read that humans and pigs shouldn't be together. Suda hesitated for a moment. Lin Hui, I don't want to say this, but as your squad leader, I must advise you to take precautions and absolutely avoid rolling into trouble. Lin Hui angrily retorted. What in the world are you all thinking? This is utterly ridiculous. The three exchanged glances. You didn't mean it that way? Of course not. Lin Hui glared at them. Quickly go find me 4 wild boars now. Wang Yong chuckled mischievously. Isn't that exactly what you meant? It's going to be exhilarating. 1v4. Wild boars are far more delicious than domestic pigs. Before he could finish his sentence, he soared several meters into the air, crashing down comically. Lin Hui cursed furiously. If you talk nonsense again, I'll stuff your head where the sun doesn't shine. Wang Yong, startled, scrambled to his feet and dashed into the forest. Wild boars are known for their strong reproductive capabilities and preference for social living. This forest was teeming with them. With little effort, they gathered 4 wild boars. Lin Hui removed all the sensors from the 4 men and attached them to the wild boars. With a firm slap on the rear of one boar, it squealed and shot off like a rocket into the woods. All right. Lin Hui clapped his hands, a broad smile on his face. Now we are truly safe. Suda was the first to react, giving a thumbs up. Brilliant. Truly brilliant. Lin Hui, how did I not realize before that you are quite the cunning one? Lin Hui chuckled. Don't flatter me, or I'll get conceited. Suda rolled his eyes. Am I really complimenting you? Chun Eru, curious, asked. Brother Hui, the wild boars have run off. What shall we do now? Wang Yong, eyes wide with excitement. Are we going to go after the Blue Army next? Lin Hui nodded with a smile. Without the sensors, we are practically invisible. The possibilities are endless. I suspect the Blue Army is surrounding our remaining troops, and we have the perfect opportunity to strike big. The three exchanged glances, their faces filled with uncertainty. Though they did not understand Lin Hui's intentions, just seeing his cunning smile made it clear that something mischievous was afoot. Suda had even begun to pray for the Blue Army. How many nursing homes did you blow up in your past life to encounter such a perverse individual as Lin Hui? In the command center of the Black Tiger Special Forces, a soldier removed his headphones and suddenly stood up, exclaiming, Report. We have located the signal. Squad leader Li Meng dashed over, his gaze fixed on the screen displaying 4 blinking signal points. A cold smirk forming on his lips. The 4 little mice have finally emerged from their burrow. They vanished for an entire night, and I thought they had perished. Suddenly, his brow furrowed. What is happening? Why are the directions of the 4 signals different? Have they separated? The officer beside him also appeared puzzled. Indeed. Why are these individuals changing directions? What exactly are they trying to accomplish? Regardless of their intentions, they would undoubtedly not succeed. Li Meng snorted disdainfully. Immediately dispatch personnel to bring them back, by any means necessary. How dare these little rodents cause trouble and court their own demise? The officer nodded and promptly set off with his team. Time ticked by. 3 hours later, 2 helicopters descended slowly from the sky. They captured them so quickly. Li Meng joyfully approached, grinning as he inquired. So, how many did you apprehend? An officer descended from the helicopter. All of them. Li Meng's eyes lit up. That's impressive. The officer's expression turned awkward. However, what? Li Meng pressed, his patience wearing thin. The officer grimaced. Squad leader, you might want to see for yourself. He stepped aside, and Li Meng peered inside, his entire being frozen in astonishment. Inside the cabin were several wild boars, tightly bound and squealing pitifully. Damn it. Li Meng seized the officer by his collar. I instructed you to capture people, and you brought back a few wild boars? For a barbecue? The officer, splattered with saliva, forced a smile. Chief, those unscrupulous rascals anticipated our move and tied the signal source to the wild boars, leading us on a wild goose chase. I thought that after all this effort, we ought to return with something, so I brought back the boars. We might as well treat the brothers to a feast. Li Meng nearly spat blood in fury. Are you seriously thinking of the brothers? Damn it. A distinguished special operations team, reduced to chasing after wild boars for so long. Fuming, Li Ming slammed his fist against the helicopter. Curse it. I have never encountered such a despicable trickery in my life. Chapter 68. Such audacity. How could they possibly be spies? Several officers hung their heads, not daring to breathe. Li Ming, increasingly irate at the sight of the boars, barked, "Get those pigs out of my sight." The earlier officer cautiously inquired, "Where should we take them?" Li Ming shot him a fierce glare. "What do you think? Send them to the kitchen to be slaughtered for a feast. Are we supposed to return them to the wild? Don't you know wild boars are rampant nowadays?" The officer quickly nodded. Yes. We will inform the cooking team right away." The others secretly sighed in relief. At least their pursuit had not been in vain. They could at least enjoy a sumptuous meal that evening. It was said that wild boar meat was nutritious, and they would make sure to indulge. "Do you all still have the audacity to smile?" Li Ming pointed at them. "After searching for hours, you only managed to bring back a few wild boars. I don't care what methods you use. You must capture those 4 little mice. If you fail to bring them back, don't return for dinner. Now get moving." "Yes, sir." A group of individuals hastily boarded the aircraft, ascending once again into the skies. Li Ming clenched his fists, seething with anger. How dare they deceive me? If I manage to locate the 4 of you, I shall ensure you receive a proper lesson. Meanwhile, at the exercise command center, Lin Rue gazed at the screen, shaking his head in resignation. At this moment, the Blue Army had fully assembled, completely encircling the Red Army. "What is your perspective?" Lin Rue turned to find a lieutenant colonel standing beside him. Lin Rue rolled his eyes. "What do you mean by perspective?" "Just look with your eyes." The lieutenant colonel, speechless, replied, "I meant to inquire about your thoughts on the current situation of the exercise. Do you believe the Red Army still has a chance for a comeback?" Lin Rue chuckled. "You, a graduate of a prestigious military academy, require my commentary?" The lieutenant colonel laughed heartily. "I merely wish to hear the insights of a scion of a military family like you. So hurry up." There was hardly any suspense in the situation. With his hands clasped behind his back, Lin Rue stated calmly, "The current circumstances are quite evident. The remnants of the Red Army have been entirely surrounded by the Blue Army. Lacking heavy firepower, they are merely clinging to survival due to their advantageous terrain. To put it bluntly, they cannot engage effectively nor escape. Their annihilation by the Blue Army is merely a matter of time." The lieutenant colonel nodded in agreement. "Just as I suspected." Lin Rue rolled his eyes. "Then why the hell did you ask me to elaborate? Were it not for our years of camaraderie, I wouldn't even bother to engage with you." The lieutenant colonel continued, "The Blue Army's objective this time is unmistakably clear, to provide the Red Army with a lesson, demonstrating just how outdated traditional tactics are in the face of information warfare. This time, even if a celestial being were to descend, it would likely prove futile for the Red Army." Lin Rue remained silent, gazing at the screen with a sigh in his heart. "Xiao Hui, you have truly encountered misfortune this time. To be so thoroughly defeated in your inaugural exercise. Perhaps had you been with the Blue Army, there might have been opportunities for you to shine, but now." He sighed helplessly. "It's all my fault for having excessively praised you before your father. Upon returning, I am certain to be reprimanded." On the main road, several tanks rumbled past, their sound echoing through the air. Lin Hui peeked out from the foliage, surveying the distance. His vision had been significantly enhanced, allowing him to see clearly within a radius of 500 meters, and even beyond that, he could discern general outlines. Soon, he noticed the tanks entering a military camp. Lin Hui furrowed his brow, sensing something amiss. Under normal circumstances, the movement of vehicles in and out of a combat unit would be commonplace. However, what he observed was peculiar. The same few vehicles were going back and forth, appearing more like patrols than combat operations. At that moment, Lin Hui's keen eyes caught sight of numerous antennas erected within the camp. A realization dawned upon him. This is likely the command center of the Blue Army. "Hey, what is going on?" Wang Yong urged impatiently from behind him. Just as Lin Hui withdrew his head, Chen Eru eagerly inquired, "What is the situation, Huigo? Can we engage? I can hardly wait to showcase my skills." Lin Hui glared at them. "What is the rush? We must first observe carefully." The two immediately fell silent, their eagerness to earn a first-class merit evident. Suda curiously asked, "What have you observed? Can we take action?" Lin Hui smiled slightly. "Yes, we can. Moreover, it appears that the adversaries are rather vulnerable." The 3 of them instantly became exhilarated. Wang Yong rubbed his hands together, licking his lips, exclaiming, "Soft targets are delightful. I relish squeezing soft targets." Chen Eru chuckled foolishly. "This is a sure win, a guaranteed first-class achievement." Lin Hui cleared his throat and cautioned, "When I referred to soft targets, I merely meant that they are slightly less formidable than the regular troops, not that they are entirely incapable of putting up a fight." "What does that imply?" "I just observed closely. There are at least 20 tanks, 8 armored vehicles, and no fewer than 2 companies of guards." The 3 of them collectively gasped in disbelief. Suda's eyes widened. "You call this a soft target? This is clearly a fortress." Wang Yong lamented, "If we proceed like this, We might as well have our legs broken. Chun Eru nervously suggested, Brother Hui, perhaps we should consider a different location. I believe targeting the cooking unit would suffice. Lin Hui kicked him, exclaiming, Is this all the spirit you have? Have you become so addicted to raiding the cooking unit that you've forgotten what it feels like to take a beating? Recalling the thrashing they received that day still sent shivers down their spines. Hiding behind, they were mercilessly pummeled. It was truly dreadful. Suda anxiously inquired, What are your thoughts? Lin Hui, with a gleam in his eye, replied, In the past few days, we have traversed numerous places. But this base is adorned with many antennas. What does that signify? It indicates the presence of vital communications. Suda's eyes sparkled, the command post. Lin Hui nodded, Precisely. This must be a command post of the Blue Army. If we can neutralize it, our achievements will surpass anything we've accomplished thus far. Let us take a gamble. At worst, we can go down in a blaze of glory together. After all, our lives are expendable, so there is nothing to lose. Suda beamed, You're right. We've already achieved merit. Regardless of how many we take down, it's a victory. Wang Yong and Chun Eru's eyes sparkled with excitement. Brother Hui, give the order. How shall we proceed? We can hardly wait to make a noble sacrifice and become heroes. Lin Hui gathered the three closer, grinning. In a moment. We will do this and that. The three of them broke into broad smiles. 20 minutes later, Lin Hui and his companions emerged from the forest, brazenly clutching bundles of wild vegetables, striding towards the side of the camp. Just as they were nearing, a bush suddenly came to life. Halt! State your orders. A camouflage sentry aimed his weapon at Lin Hui and his comrades, coldly demanding an explanation. Lin Hui promptly raised his hands. Comrade, do not fire. We are allies. Allies? Indeed, we are from the cooking unit, out gathering wild vegetables. Lin Hui glanced back, and the others promptly raised their handfuls of vegetables. The sentry frowned. From the cooking unit? I haven't seen you before. Two visible sentries approached. Curious, what is going on? We've uncovered some spies. You're the real spies. Your entire family are spies. Wang Yong retorted, jumping up. We've already told you we're from the cooking unit. When you come for your meal, don't expect even a morsel of meat. Chun Era chimed in. Right? Not even a bit of stew for you. The two visible sentries scrutinized them with furrowed brows. There are only a few from the cooking unit. I've seen them all, yet I've never encountered you. Lin Hui chuckled amiably and said, Comrade, we have just been temporarily assigned here. It is understandable that you do not recognize us. Could you kindly escort us to the cooking unit for registration? The two guards exchanged dubious glances. First, give us the password. Lin Hui rolled his eyes, clearly exasperated. We are new arrivals. How could I possibly know the password? Just take a look at our uniforms. Do we bear the insignia of the Blue Army? Do you honestly think we traveled all this way for leisure? Are you suspecting us of being spies? Gripping the guard's rifle, he pressed it against his forehead. If you suspect me of being a spy, you might as well end me right here. It would just be my unfortunate fate to fall at the hands of my own. The guards were utterly taken aback. Even Suda and his companions were startled. Goodness, this is quite a risky maneuver. If he flinches even slightly, it could truly end badly. After a couple of seconds, the guard lowered his weapon. All right, we are merely following protocol. According to regulations, without the password, we cannot allow you entry. We hope for your understanding. Lin Hui snorted coldly. I understand you, but who understands us? The Red Army has been decimated, soon to be entirely wiped out. Yet you still have the leisure to send someone over here? What are you thinking? If we were truly agents of the Red faction, would we stroll over so brazenly? Carrying wild vegetables to supplement your meals? Chun Eru nodded in agreement. Exactly. Look at us. Do we resemble spies? We are law-abiding citizens, truly law-abiding. The Blue Army soldiers exchanged glances, beginning to see the reason in their words. The exercise was nearing its conclusion, and the outcome was about to be revealed. At this juncture, whatever the Red faction attempted would be futile. If they truly wished to infiltrate, they would have done so long ago, not wait until now. Moreover, what would be the point of masquerading as cooks? Were they intending to toil away, chopping vegetables and gathering firewood? Besides, the individuals before them were utterly unfazed, exhibiting more bravado than they themselves. How could they possibly be spies? All right, we'll consider this a misunderstanding. The guard side. Follow us. I will first take you to the cooking unit for registration, but I will still need to contact your superiors to verify your identities. Lin Hui nodded in gratitude. No problem. However, just as the three turned to leave, Lin Hui's gaze sharpened suddenly, and he lunged at the guard. He grasped the man's neck with one hand while covering his mouth with the other, swiftly bringing him down to the ground. What are you doing? The other two guards reacted sharply, raising their weapons. Get them. Suda growled, charging at one of them. In mere moments, he subdued one effortlessly. The second guard barely lifted his weapon when a shadow loomed over him. What the? In the next instant, Chun Eru crashed heavily onto him, pinning his upper body. Wang Yong quickly followed suit, tackling him from the other side, effectively restraining his lower half. Together, they pressed the man down with such force that it nearly forced the breath from his lungs. Lin Hui knocked the guard unconscious and turned around, his eyes nearly popping out in disbelief. What on earth are you two doing? Suda also turned back, almost ready to vomit from the sight. There was Chin Eru, pinning the man down with his weight, his body resting atop the guard's face. The fellow below struggled for but a moment before falling silent. Wang Yang's position was even more peculiar, as his entire head was pressed against the other person's lower body. The two of them, one above and the other below, were indeed engaged in a rather indecorous display. Lin Hui glared at them, exclaiming, in broad daylight, "Can you not be more considerate of your surroundings?" Chun Eru hastily scrambled to his feet, chuckling awkwardly, "My apologies. I leapt too high and lost control." Wang Yong rose, spitting disdainfully. What a foul stench. He kicked Eru, scolding him, "It's all your fault. Why did you jump so high? You threw off my angle." Lin Hui's lips twitched. The way these two behaved seemed rather deliberate. "Enough of the chatter, let us quickly hide the person. We are running out of time." Right. They immediately banded together, dragging the three individuals into the underbrush. Chapter 69. Infiltrating the Blue Army headquarters for a major score. At the Blue Army camp, the four formed a line and marched forward. Lin Hui led the way, gripping his steel gun tightly. The three behind him wore expressions of palpable anxiety, their eyes darting around furtively. Chun Eru's calves felt weak with tension. "We go. I'm a bit frightened. What if we get discovered?" "Stay composed," Lin Hui whispered. "With so many people in the camp, as long as we act naturally, they surely won't notice us. Just think of yourself as an actor." Chun Eru nodded, repeatedly muttering to himself, "I am an actor. I am an actor. I am an actor." Suda surveyed the heavily guarded surroundings, his heart pounding. From the outside, the camp appeared quite ordinary, but upon entering, he realized the level of security was exceedingly tight. There were sentries everywhere, both visible and concealed, as well as patrols on the move. Furthermore, the camp was equipped with numerous specialized vehicles, including communication and command vehicles. Such equipment was not standard for a regular camp. Lin Hui made a quick circuit of the area, grasping the general situation before swiftly leading the three to the back of a tent. "Suda, anxious," remarked Lin Hui. "This won't do. We can't keep going like this." Wang Yong nodded in agreement. "Yes. We go? What if we run into someone who asked for the password? We would be finished." "You have no idea. I just encountered a patrol, and they glanced at me, nearly making my heart leap out of my chest." Lin Hui calmly reassured him. "What is there to panic about? If they didn't recognize us, it means our disguise is quite convincing. But we are cooks." Wang Yong protested urgently. "What kind of cook wanders around the camp instead of working in the kitchen? This is absurd. Do not sweat the details." Lin Hui waved his hand dismissively. "Our primary aim is to understand the camp's layout, and I have already gathered the essential information." Suda, curious, inquired, "So? What is the verdict?" Lin Hui smiled slightly. "I can state with absolute certainty that this is the Blue Army's command headquarters. The abundance of specialized vehicles and command units. These are not assets of a regular unit. Only a headquarters would have such resources. We have indeed come to the right place." Suda nodded, having noticed the same detail. "So, how do we proceed?" Lin Hui asked with a smile. "How much explosives do you have? Bring them all out." The three paused momentarily before hastily retrieving explosives and several grenades from their bags. These items were previously scavenged from the Blue Army camp, and there is quite a substantial quantity. They are all here. Lin Hui surveyed the materials. This is sufficient. Soon, he began crafting rudimentary time bombs with the resources at hand. Wang Yong's eyes widened in astonishment. "Huigu, you can make bombs?" Lin Hui, brimming with pride, replied, "Certainly. Not only bombs. Given enough materials, I could even concoct a nuclear device." The three of them collectively rolled their eyes. "Complimenting your weight has made you rather puffed up, hasn't it?" Lin Hui acquired his bomb-making skills after joining the 6th Company. There was an experienced engineer in the unit, renowned for his expertise in crafting bombs by hand. Out of boredom, Lin Hui learned a few tricks from him. Although his skills were not particularly refined, the system's support allowed him to absorb a considerable amount of valuable knowledge. For instance, utilizing limited materials to create a simple time bomb. Lin Hui distributed several bombs into the hands of his comrades. "Take care of these." Suda gazed at the bomb, bewildered, and asked, "You aren't planning to blow up the camp, are you? With this little explosive, it wouldn't be sufficient. The area is so vast that it wouldn't kill many people." Lin Hui shook his head. "Who said I wanted to blow up the camp? I intend to." "I see." Chun Eru suddenly interjected, feeling as if he had become a genius. The three turned to him simultaneously. "What have you figured out?" Lin Hui was somewhat taken aback. "I haven't even spoken yet, and you already know?" "Wait, why did I say again?" Chun Eru gave a thumbs up, chuckling. "It must be Huigu. Only you could devise such a nefarious plan. You must want us to strap the explosives to ourselves, acting as human bombs to take them out, right?" Wang Yong excitedly slapped his thigh. "Exactly. How did I not think of that? As long as we perish alongside the enemy, we shall be hailed as heroes, and surely, we will be awarded first-class merit. Lin Hui's mouth twitched. Do you two even think? He replied, exasperated. These are training explosives. Detonating them at close range could cause severe injuries, if not death. If you truly wish to be martyrs, I won't stop you. When the holidays come around, I will burn some paper money and candles for you. The two were taken aback. So, the training explosives are that lethal? No, they merely wish to exit early to claim credit. They didn't genuinely want to become martyrs. Suda looked at him and asked, Lin Hui, stop keeping us in suspense. What exactly are these bombs for? Lin Hui grinned. Since we are here, we must stir up some trouble. I plan to blow up all the command vehicles. Blow up the command vehicles? Suda momentarily failed to grasp the situation. Wang Yong grew anxious. Huigu, the camp is this small. After we blow everything up, how do we escape? Last time we blew up the latrine, the Blue Army was already furious with us. If they catch us, they will undoubtedly beat us to a pulp. Chen Eru, with a woeful expression, lamented. Huigu, to be honest, have you ever been beaten? It hurts. Lin Hui paused for a moment. Did being whipped by his father with a 7-wolf whip in his childhood count? He had broken several strands of his pants. Clearing his throat, he said, Don't worry. It's just a beating. What is the big deal? As long as we can achieve great merit, a good thrashing is a small price to pay. Let us consider it a sacrifice for our country. The three individuals exchanged glances, realizing the argument was indeed irrefutable and impossible to contest. Moreover, having already infiltrated the area, it would be a grave mistake not to take action. Was it merely a matter of enduring a beating? As if no one had ever experienced it before. After a brief discussion, they deliberated on their course of action. Lin Hui spoke gravely. Let us split up. Smaller targets are less likely to be detected. I need you to install explosives on those vehicles equipped with antennas. Wang Yong suddenly interjected. Wait, since we can blow up vehicles, why not target the command center instead? We might catch some big fish. Chen Eru nodded in agreement. Exactly. If we eliminate those officers, wouldn't that mean victory? Lin Hui shot them a disapproving glare. What do you know? Vehicles are more crucial than personnel. Seeing their confusion, Suda chuckled and elucidated. Lin Hui is right. Bombing the command center is futile. If the division commander is gone, the brigade commander will take over. If the brigade commander is gone, the regiment commander will step in. We can't kill them all. However, these command vehicles are different. They contain vital equipment. If destroyed, they will be unable to send or receive any communications. The Blue Army would immediately be rendered deaf and blind. Realization dawned on the two. Wang Yong praised. As expected of Brother Hui, your mind works better than ours. Chen Eru cautiously asked, Can I strap explosives and blow up a vehicle? I want to experience being a martyr. Lin Hui kicked him, exclaiming, Enough nonsense. Get to work, and meet me at the largest tent in the center once you're done. The trio followed his gaze, and Suda inquired, What are we going there for? Aren't we supposed to flee after detonating the bombs? Lin Hui smiled slightly. When did I say anything about escaping? Suda was taken aback. What? Not escaping means waiting to be caught. Are you truly seeking a beating? Lin Hui chuckled. Once the bombs are detonated, chaos will ensue in the camp, and we can storm the command center and take them all down. After all, 1 is a break even, 2 would be a significant gain, and dying would be glorious. The three were filled with exhilaration. It was indeed clever of him, blowing up their vehicles and not fleeing, but instead planning to confront the command. Who could have anticipated such audacity? Regardless, this was bound to be a monumental success, and a first-class merit was assured. Wang Yong rubbed his hands eagerly. Brother Hui, let's hurry. I can't wait to take them on. Chen Era chimed in excitedly. Me too. Suda took a deep breath. You really have a knack for mischief. If I were the Blue Army commander, I would loathe you. Lin Hui laughed. Let us move. With that, the four dashed off in different directions, vanishing into the camp. Chapter 70. Hard Vegetables. Braised Blue Army Command Center soon. The four dispersed swiftly across the camp. Chen Eru strolled towards a supply truck, trying to appear nonchalant. 2 guards glanced at him. Chen Eru grinned foolishly. Have you eaten yet? The 2 shot him a glare. Remaining silent. Undeterred, Chen Eru continued to smile. Did you eat enough? Our cooking team made some delicious flatbreads. They smell amazing. Want to try some? The corners of the guards' mouths twitched. Where did this fool come from? Without hesitation, he turned his head away and ignored him, seizing the opportunity. Chen Eru swiftly extracted explosives from his trousers and affixed them to the underside of the vehicle. Once done, he immediately adopted a nonchalant demeanor, saying, I'm serious. If you're hungry, go to the kitchen for some pancakes. If they're not to your liking, just come find me. The 2 guards stood by. While to the west of the camp, Wang Yong surveyed the communication vehicle, which was surrounded by a multitude of guards, pondering how to smuggle the bomb aboard. Suddenly, an idea struck him. He quickly removed the water bottle from his waist and exclaimed, Here we go. The bottle rolled under the vehicle like a bowling ball. Wang Yong hurried over to one of the guards and said, Brother, my water bottle rolled under the car. Could you help me retrieve it? The guard shot him a glance, but said nothing. Wang Yong grinned. Can you lend a hand? The guard glared at him and retorted, can't you pick it up yourself? Wang Yong rolled his eyes in annoyance, yet felt jubilant inside. He promptly bent down and crawled beneath the vehicle, taking advantage of the moment while retrieving the water bottle. He swiftly produced the explosives and secured them to the car's undercarriage. Emerging with the water bottle in hand, he cast a disdainful look at several guards, muttering, so stingy. The guards chose to ignore him entirely. Meanwhile, behind an equipment vehicle, Suda crouched anxiously on the ground, busy with his task. All right, he exclaimed upon completion, wiping the sweat from his brow and breathing a sigh of relief. Just as he prepared to rise, a cold voice pierced the air. What are you doing? Startled, Suda quickly stood up, facing two guards who were glaring at him. What are you sneaking around for? In a moment of panic, Suda feigned adjusting his trousers. Stammering, I was just relieving myself. The guard glared at him. Is this a place to urinate? What about your unit? No, Suda implored. I couldn't hold it any longer. I had no choice but to do it here. I promise it won't happen again. Seeing his sincere contrition, the two guards snorted. We'll let you off this time. Next time, it'll be reported. Yes. Suda nodded vigorously. Once they left, he leaned against the vehicle, his legs trembling and his back drenched. He took a deep breath, muttering to himself, damn, this job is not for the faint-hearted. It's exhilarating. On the other side, inside a command vehicle, 3 officers were bound hand and foot, their mouths stuffed with foul socks. They glared wide-eyed, emitting muffled sounds of distress. Lin Hui sat nearby, grinning. I apologize, gentlemen, but I didn't want it to come to this. It's your lack of cooperation that led us here. The officers glared at him in fury, emitting muffled protests. Lin Hui casually remarked, you might as well stop struggling. The more you squirm, the further those socks get lodged, and the more pungent the aroma becomes. Honestly, as leaders, can't you maintain some personal hygiene? Regularly changing your socks is essential. The officers were on the verge of exploding with rage. Damn it, we're in the middle of an exercise. What conditions do you expect us to have? If they had known they would endure such torment, they would have surely changed into clean socks beforehand. Lin Hui smiled slightly, choosing to ignore their plight. He turned his attention to the equipment in the vehicle, pondering, why are there so many buttons? These items were entirely unfamiliar to Lin Hui, who had never learned how to operate them. After a brief glance, he confidently picked up a walkie-talkie. He located the channel most frequently used for communication, likely belonging to the directorate. Without a moment's hesitation, Lin Hui dialed in. The connection was established swiftly. This is the exercise directorate, he announced with a smile. I have vital information to report. The officer on the other end nodded, urging him to proceed. Lin Hui earnestly stated, the Blue Army headquarters is about to suffer a catastrophic strike, and the entire force will soon be annihilated. You must send personnel immediately to take over. This information is genuine and unequivocal. Please do not delay. After delivering his message in one breath, he abruptly ended the call. Turning to the 3 individuals, Lin Hui grinned and said, I apologize, but you must adhere to the exercise rules. You are all considered deceased. With that, he marked a line with a red pin across their necks before departing. The 3 were left utterly speechless. Was this young man out of his mind? Why would he send such a false message to the directorate? The notion of the Blue Army headquarters facing annihilation was absurd. Meanwhile, at the exercise directorate, an officer rushed to the chief director, exclaiming, report, sir. The chief director looked up, inquiring, what is it? The officer reported, just now, we received a message indicating that the Blue Army headquarters is on the verge of suffering a devastating attack, and that we should dispatch personnel immediately to take control. The chief director's eyes widened in shock. The Blue Army headquarters has been attacked? By whom? When did this happen? How was I unaware of this? Beside him, a lieutenant colonel expressed confusion. That cannot be right. We have been monitoring them closely. They were just issuing commands a moment ago. How could they possibly be under attack? The chief director turned to the officer. Are you certain there isn't a mistake? The officer scratched his head. It seems unlikely. The information came directly from their headquarters. It must be accurate. Could it be that they are confused, or is someone playing a prank? The chief director frowned. Contact them again immediately. Yes, sir. The officer left, but soon returned, breathless. Director, we cannot establish contact. Everyone stood in stunned silence. What on earth was the Blue Army doing? How could they send such nonsensical information, claiming to be completely eradicated? Were they contemplating self-destruction? That did not make sense. Victory was within reach. Why would they resort to such drastic measures? The chief director pondered for a moment, sensing something amiss. Given that the message originated from the Blue Army headquarters, he commanded, send personnel to investigate at once. Understood. Soon, a vehicle departed from the directorate. Meanwhile, at the Blue Army headquarters, Lin Hui had successfully reunited with the 3. He inquired, so, everything went smoothly? Wang Yong, animatedly recounting, stated, Brother Hui, You cannot imagine. Planting the bomb felt akin to venturing into a den of dragons and tigers, with dozens of guards stationed nearby. Just the sight of them made my legs tremble. Fortunately, my courage prevailed, and I cleverly executed the mission. Shun Eru quickly chimed in, boasting, I faced even greater peril. Several guards were eyeing the bulge in my pants, nearly searching me on the spot. Lin Hui rolled his eyes at their antics. You two are quite the performers. Is it merely about planting a bomb? It feels as if we are in a spy thriller, said Suda, his voice tinged with trepidation. Squad leader, how is it going on your end? Lin Hui glanced at his watch. We have a few minutes until detonation. Come, let's seize this opportunity and strike a significant blow at their command center. The trio exchanged mischievous grins, their faces alight with excitement. They had been eagerly awaiting this moment. Following Lin Hui, they swaggered toward the command post. As they approached, they were halted by a guard. Halt. What is your purpose here? State the password. Lin Hui quickly waved his hands in a gesture of reassurance. No misunderstanding. We are from the cooking unit. The cooking unit? The four guards exchanged dubious glances, questioning. What business does the cooking unit have here? Move along. Don't you know this area is off limits? Lin Hui maintained a serious demeanor. We were ordered to come here. What order? With a grin, Lin Hui replied. The commander is craving something new. We from the cooking unit have concocted several dishes and have come to present the menu. The guards looked bewildered. Present the menu? What does the commander wish to eat? Lin Hui chuckled, a hearty dish. We call it Braised Blue Army Command Center. The guards' pupils dilated in shock, their expressions shifting dramatically as they began to react. Attack! Lin Hui commanded with a swift motion of his hand, and the group charged forward. Chapter 71. The Blue Army commands fury. Eliminate them. Lin Hui launched a sharp uppercut, his fist connecting with a guard's chin. The guard's eyes widened in surprise as he collapsed, slipping into unconsciousness. Suda swiftly followed suit, dispatching another guard with ease. Though Wang Yong and Chun Eru were not skilled fighters, their brute strength allowed them to cover the mouths of two guards, pinning them to the ground and rendering them unconscious. Lin Hui surveyed their surroundings and, noticing no one was paying attention, beckoned to his companions. Quickly, drag them into the tent. Understood. The four of them grinned, immediately hauling the guards toward the tent. They were well versed in this operation, moving with practiced efficiency. Inside the tent, shadows flitted about, accompanied by the incessant ticking of machinery. An officer stepped to the entrance, holding a report, poised to place the documents on the table. When he froze in disbelief, he beheld four figures dragging in four unconscious individuals. Just place them here, Lin Hui instructed, clapping his hands, and turned just in time to lock eyes with the officer. Had they been any closer, they might have bumped into each other. Startled, the officer stumbled back, fearfully pointing at Lin Hui. You. What are you doing? Lin Hui responded with a grin, raising his weapon. Doing your job. Bang. The sound of a gunshot erupted, a plume of red smoke bursting forth from the officer's body. The sudden gunfire brought every individual in the Blue Army Command Center to a halt, their attention drawn to Lin Hui and his companions. Lin Hui barked everyone, down on the ground. Do not move. The crowd stood as if time had frozen, staring blankly in shock. Bang, bang, bang. Lin Hui fired several shots into the air, shouting, nobody moves. Get down and cover your heads. The Red Army has come to sweep you away. The crowd, mouths agape in astonishment, finally began to grasp the situation. What was happening? The red team was not completely encircled, trapped in the valley. How could they have come here? Seeing that the others remained unmoved, Wang Yong was enraged and prepared to make an example. Are you all deaf? Did you not hear my brother Hui speak? He aimed his weapon at a nearby major and pulled the trigger. To his astonishment, there was no smoke emanating from the gun. What was happening? Had he missed? Wang Yong was bewildered, thinking his aim was poor. He fired twice more, yet to no avail. Lin Hui suddenly realized, pointing at him. What the hell? Are you cheating? The exercise is not supposed to have smoke detectors. I will report you. The major's lips twitched in awkwardness. The command post was far behind and victory was imminent. He found the device cumbersome and had removed it early. Who could have anticipated that the red team's little rascals would charge in at this moment? Bang, bang, bang. Suda unleashed a barrage of gunfire, and a few of the opponents were hit, producing smoke. Did you not hear the order to duck and cover? Smack. Blue Army Commander Jiang Yunlong slammed his palm on the table and shouted at them in fury. Where did you come from? Do you see all these senior officers? You little rascals think you can make them crouch with just a few guns? Lin Hui stepped forward. Why can't we? You are now prisoners. The fact that I haven't tied you up one by one is already a mercy. The chief of staff retorted angrily. How dare you speak to the commander like that? Lin Hui smiled slightly at him. I apologize, but we have always treated our enemies this way. If you dislike it, then have the ability not to be prisoners. Jiang Yunlong glared at him. You have quite the audacity, daring to storm our command post with just for people? Lin Hui approached, gun aimed directly at him. Less talk. Duck and cover immediately, or I will shoot you all. Jiang Yunlong scoffed. Even if you shot us all, it would be futile. The Blue Army is about to launch a full-scale assault. Even if we are gone, others will take command. You, however, are surrounded by people in your camp. Can you escape? Lin Hui rolled his eyes. Who said we intend to escape? Before Jiang Yunlong could react, a muffled explosion echoed from outside. In the next moment, everyone in the command post was stunned. What was happening? What was that explosion? What had you done? Lin Hui smiled slightly. Oh, nothing much. Just blew up your communication vehicles, equipment trucks, and command vehicles. Now, even if you are gone and someone else takes command, the orders have already been issued. Are you surprised, astonished, or pleased? Jiang Yunlong nearly spat blood. This fellow was too unscrupulous. He hurriedly had someone lift the curtain to take a look. The camp was shrouded in thick smoke, and indeed, several command vehicles were rendered inoperable. Jiang Yunlong's eyes blazed with fury. Bastard, how did they manage this? Were the guards blind, just watching them plant bombs? Wang Yong beamed with pride, his eyebrows nearly soaring. Who would have thought we came just to deliver a pig's head and ended up achieving such a significant victory, taking down the Blue Army headquarters? After returning to logistics, the quartermaster and the veterans could only envy me. Chun Eru wore a proud expression. I thought the Blue Army was formidable, but they are hardly impressive. They were utterly annihilated by us, mere logistics personnel. A collective gasp of disbelief echoed through the crowd. After all this time, these individuals were merely in logistics? At that moment, it felt as if they had received 1,000 critical hits. If they had been defeated by the elite Red forces, it would have been one thing, but to fall to a few wild boars was utterly humiliating. At this juncture, Suda finally lifted his head with pride, feeling a rush of exhilaration. After enduring the initial frustrations of the exercise, he had long harbored a storm of emotions, and now he could finally express them. What a relief. Lin Hui, reveling in the moment, taunted Jiang Yunlong. Comrade Commander, without your command vehicle, how do you intend to issue orders? Jiang Yunlong trembled with rage. The meticulously organized general offensive had been sabotaged. Without the command vehicle, the command center had been compromised. How could they issue commands? And how could the various regiments coordinate their attacks? Victory was within reach, but this unexpected turn of events was infuriating. Jiang Yunlong was thoroughly enraged. Pointing at Lin Hui and his companions, take down these scoundrels. Lin Hui stepped back, equally incensed. Oh, come on. Did I give you face for nothing? Attack. Send them all back home. In an instant, the four of them pulled the triggers. The sound of gunfire erupted. Jiang Yunlong felt 2 impacts on his chest. Even blank rounds at close range held a degree of lethality. He glanced down to see 2 dark spots near his sensitive area. His face flushed with indignation. You dare shoot at me? I've never encountered such rogues. Lin Hui chuckled. Well, I suppose today you have. Jiang Yunlong was in agony. You. Lin Hui waved his hand to interrupt. Enough. You're all dead now. The dead do not speak. Just lie still and await the directorate to come collect you, and reflect on how you met your demise. Withdraw. With a wave of his hand, Lin Hui turned with his companions to leave. The camp was in utter chaos, filled with shadows darting about. Who did this? Who the hell did this? We were ambushed. There must be Red forces infiltrating. Find them. Capture them. I swear I will flay them alive. Hurry to the command center, and check if the commander is all right. Hearing the surrounding shouts and curses, Suda was drenched in cold sweat, urging, hurry, hurry, hurry. This way. Lin Hui led his companions, hastily preparing to slip away through the side. But just a few steps in, the tent of the command center was flung open. Jiang Yunlong stormed out in fury, pointing at Lin Hui and his group, bellowing, capture those 4 scoundrels. Give them a good beating, but leave them breathing. All the soldiers turned, their furious gazes fixated on Lin Hui and his companions. The 4 of them were taken aback, feeling as though they were being eyed by a ferocious beast, their hair standing on end. Wang Yong panicked. This is it. We're done for. Chun Eru hid behind Lin Hui. Brother Hui, if I die, please tell the quartermaster that the instant noodles and ham in his cabinet were all pilfered by me. Suda swallowed hard. Lin Hui, do we still have a chance? Chance? What chance do we have? Lin Hui shouted angrily, turning to point at Jiang Yunlong, accusing him, you're cheating. Even in death, you still issue orders. You lack martial ethics. Jiang Yunlong retorted furiously, I'm not fully dead yet. I'm struggling to crawl out. Is that not enough? Even in death, I'm a vengeful spirit, here to exact retribution on you. Beat them to death. All the soldiers of the Blue Army surged forth like a flood, enraged, charging towards Lin Hui and his companions. Chapter 72. Is surrendering for half enough? As a large group approached, Lin Hui felt his heart racing. Oh no, so many of them. Am I to be beaten to death? Wait. As the mob was about to close in, Lin Hui hastily raised his hand and shouted. All halted. And Jiang Yunlong glared at him. What last words do you have? Lin Hui pleaded pathetically. Commander, you can't bully us like this. This is cheating. Jiang Yunlong sneered. How is this cheating? I'm dead, they are not. Why can't I beat you? Of course, even if you manage to kill them, they can become vengeful spirits like me and haunt you. Lin Hui grimaced. Isn't this just being unreasonable? Dying and turning into a vengeful spirit? Why not become a hero instead? He forced a flattering smile. Commander, you are a high-ranking official, and we are but mere soldiers, wanting to complete our mission and return with some achievements. Please, with your magnanimity, let us not hold this against us. Bah, Jiang Yunlong spat. To hell with being a high-ranking official. I'm just petty-minded today, and I intend to finish you off. Charge. Wait. As the mob surged forward again, Lin Hui shouted in desperation. Curse it. This old fool is impervious to reason. Jiang Yunlong glared at him. Are you done yet? Lin Hui suggested cautiously. Can we avoid violence? We are all civilized people. Jiang Yunlong pointed at him, exuding arrogance. Who the hell is talking about civility? Stand at attention when cursed. And brace yourself when beaten. Stay still and let me vent my frustrations. Otherwise, my fists are blind. And if you get hurt, don't blame me. Lin Hui quickly shouted again. Wait. The rules of the exercise state to stop at a point. No harm allowed. Hitting us is against the rules. The Blue Army soldiers sneered. And what if it is against the rules? Ever heard of the law not punishing the masses? Hearing this, the four were thoroughly alarmed. How could they have forgotten this? Surely, the directing department wouldn't lock up everyone who fought, right? They would likely just receive a reprimand and write a self-critique before being released. This minor punishment meant nothing to the Blue Army. Chun Eru was on the verge of tears. Brother Hui, how about we kneel and surrender? Wang Yong scoffed. What are you saying? Is kneeling useful now? We should prostrate ourselves completely. They will surely spare us. Lin Hui glared fiercely at the two. You two are so disgraceful. Wang Yong chuckled, grinning. Brother Hui. As the saying goes, while the Green Mountains remain, one need not fear a lack of firewood. It's better to live than to die. The Locust Army, the Blue Army, asked me to convey a message to you. Shut up. Lin Hui kicked him and looked at Jiang Yunlong, saying, Chief, you cannot bully the weak like this. We can endure a beating, but when the higher-ups investigate, you won't fare any better. Why create a situation where both sides suffer? Jiang Yunlong shrugged his shoulders, replying, What does it have to do with me? I did not lay a hand on them. He shouted at the blue team. Did I order you to take action? The blue team roared back. No, we just found them irritating and wanted to give them a beating. Jiang Yunlong chuckled. See? It has nothing to do with me. Lin Hui's mouth twitched. I have never encountered such shamelessness. You have truly mastered this double standard. Jiang Yunlong smirked coldly, giving a glance that prompted the blue team to charge again. Finish them off. As the crowd surged forward once more, Lin Hui found himself at a loss. He grabbed Chun Eru by the ear, causing the latter to cry out in pain. Ouch. What are you doing, Brother Hui? Eru, have you ever played with a sandbag? What? Before he could respond, Lin Hui hoisted him up by the waist and hurled him like a human sandbag. With a thud, he knocked down a large group of people. Chun Eru lamented, It hurts so much. My backside feels like it's going to explode. Lin Hui reached out to grab someone beside him, but found nothing. Turning his head, he realized Wang Yong had been prepared all along, jumping back with a mischievous grin. You think you can catch me? Not a chance. Lin Hui shot him a glare and swiftly lifted Suda beside him. What are you doing? Suda barely had time to react before he was sent flying into a crowd. This display left onlookers dumbfounded. This guy is utterly shameless. Using his own people as projectiles, Jiang Yunlong shouted from the side. What are you all waiting for? Are you going to let them use you as bowling pins? Get in there. The blue team hurriedly charged forward. With nothing left to throw, Lin Hui prepared to stand his ground. Let us give it our all. As the two opponents approached, Lin Hui lowered his body. Their fists seemed to move in slow motion to him. Ding! Evasion ability 1. Ding! Agility 1. In the next moment, Lin Hui's fist struck like a venomous snake. He accurately targeted their weaknesses, landing blows squarely on their chins. Bang! Bang! The two men's eyes widened as they collapsed, instantly falling into slumber. After rising to his feet, Lin Hui resembled a god of war, charging and striking continuously at many foes. Attack! Wang Yong also became a fierce warrior, plowing into the crowd. This was the skill he had honed while handling pigs and logistics. If he could take down a 300 or 400-pound pig, humans were no challenge at all. Suda got back on his feet and shot Lin Hui a furious glare. You scoundrel! You threw me? That's just cruel. Before long, he too joined the fray. It was now a desperate struggle. To break free, they had to fight hard. Otherwise, they would surely find themselves on the receiving end of the blue team's wrath. Chun Eru, still rubbing his sore backside, had just gotten up when a group seized him by the collar. Get up! Get your mother! Get your mother! Get your mother! Slaps rang out in rapid succession. Chun Eru unleashed a relentless series of slaps, leaving the faces of several individuals swollen. One officer, shielding his face, exclaimed in fury, You bastard, how dare you fight back? As he charged forward, two shadowy figures appeared before him, declaring, "We'll poke your eyes out." Startled, the officer instinctively covered his eyes, only to receive a swift kick from Chen Eru, akin to a monkey plucking a peach. The officer clamped his legs together, hopping about in agony while emitting a cry reminiscent of a distressed individual. Those around him felt a sudden tension in the air, employing his self-developed techniques. Chen Eru joined the fray. With a cacophony of fists and feet, the 30-plus blue soldiers who charged in were swiftly subdued by Lin Hui and his companions. Lin Hui alone dispatched more than 10 adversaries. Jiang Yunlong's eyes widened in astonishment. Good heavens! Are these fellows truly pig farmers? Lin Hui gestured grandly, adopting an air of superiority. "Commander, tread carefully on your journey to the underworld. We shall not accompany you. Farewell." With a flourish, he led his 3 companions to flee. Yet, after only a few steps, they abruptly halted, retreating in unison. Encircling them from all sides were hundreds of blue soldiers, sleeves rolled up, exuding a menacing aura. Lin Hui's expression darkened. "This is catastrophic. We cannot escape." Jiang Yunlong erupted in laughter. "You think you can offend our blue soldiers and flee? Even if you journey to the underworld, I shall drag you along." As they gazed at the encroaching crowd, Chen Eru's voice trembled. "Brother Hui, perhaps we should kneel and beg for mercy. It may not be too late." With a thud, Wang Yong dropped to his knees, exclaiming, "No more fighting, no more. Can we surrender for half the blame?" Jiang Yunlong bellowed in anger. "Curse your grandmother. Fight!" With a unified roar, everyone surged forward, fueled by indignation. Lin Hui felt a wave of dread wash over him, his legs trembling. Faced with such overwhelming numbers, even 3 heads and 6 arms would be futile. Desperation compelled Lin Hui to resort to a drastic measure. "Quick, let us go." He seized Chen Eru and Wang Yong by their ears, dragging them aside as they protested. Slow down, our ears are about to come off." Upon reaching a nearby vehicle, Lin Hui's eyes lit up as he spotted a gasoline drum. Without hesitation, he opened it. Chen Eru and Wang Yong stood bewildered. "What the hell are you doing? You're not planning to self-immolate, are you?" "Correct, but it's not me." Lin Hui chuckled, and before they could comprehend, he drenched them in gasoline. The 2 were left in shock. "What the hell? What are you doing?" Lin Hui hurled the drum forward, producing a lighter, and shouted at the advancing crowd, "Stay back. If you come any closer, I shall set them ablaze." Chen Eru pleaded, "Brother Hui, just burn yourself. Don't involve us." Wang Yong chimed in. "This is no way to treat a brother." Lin Hui winked at them. At a critical moment, "Patience will see us through." As he brought the lighter closer, the 2 screamed in panic. "Patience, my foot. You can burn yourself, but why us? Help! Save us!" Suda was taken aback. "Good heavens, Lin Hui, are you serious?" Lin Hui squinted his eyes and exclaimed, "It's just a performance." Su Darren's, bewildered, thought, "How on earth does this seem so real?" Suddenly, he heard someone shout, "Wait, wait." The crowd of blue soldiers parted, and Jiang Yunlong hurriedly approached Lin Hui, urging, "Young man, your journey is still long ahead. Do not act impulsively, and certainly do not tread the path of crime. Think twice, think twice." Lin Hui pointed at him, retorting, "Think twice, my foot. Are you still going to beat us?" Jiang Yunlong smiled awkwardly. "We are friends. How could I ever lay a hand on you?" Lin Hui scoffed. "Did you not say you would become a vengeful spirit to kill us?" Jiang Yunlong sighed. "What vengeful spirit? I am rushing to be reincarnated. Listen to me. Quickly put down the lighter and do not act rashly. Think of your parents. Think of your wife and children." At that moment, the sound of cars echoed from outside. The crowd dispersed as a vehicle from the director's team approached. A group of officers stood on the vehicle, their eyes wide in astonishment at the scene before them. "What on earth are you doing?" Jiang Yunlong, seeing them as a beacon of hope, cried out in desperation. "You arrived just in time. Quickly, take these people away. Do not let them perish on my watch." Chapter 73. The Red Team Stunned. How did it end in a tie when we were about to lose? Inside the jostling vehicle, Wang Yong vigorously wiped his face with a towel, nearly rubbing his skin raw. He lifted his arm and shoved it towards Chen Eru's face, asking, "Do I still smell?" Chen Eru sniffed and replied, "It seems a bit foul, reminiscent of cumin." "Cumin?" Wang Yong paused, perplexed. "Cumin-scented gasoline? Huigu, why don't you give it a whiff?" Lin Hui kicked him away, his face contorted in disgust. "Smell it yourself. That's clearly body odor." Wang Yong hesitated, took another sniff, and immediately broke into an embarrassed grin. "Hee, that's what I call manly charm. But it seems I really don't smell anymore. Do you think this gasoline might have expired? We probably can't ignite it." Chen Eru replied anxiously, "I don't know either. But let us be cautious and steer clear of flames. I certainly do not wish to become a roast pig." Uffed. The lieutenant colonel driving could no longer contain himself and burst into laughter. The duo looked at him blankly. "Sir, what is so funny?" The lieutenant colonel chuckled heartily. "Are you two genuinely clueless or merely pretending? How can you lack such basic common sense? Gasoline evaporates in the air, didn't you know?" Evaporate. Does that thing really evaporate? I know black fertilizer emits a gray vapor, but I had no idea this would too. The lieutenant colonel's lips twitched in disbelief. Are you two here to entertain me? If you don't understand, go read a book. How could you lack such fundamental knowledge? Besides, you doused it with water so many times. It's already clean. What are you trying to ignite? Lighting a candle would be more effective than igniting you two. The two exchanged glances, suddenly enlightened. So that is how it is. The sir is indeed knowledgeable. The lieutenant colonel rolled his eyes and chose to ignore the pair of fools. He adjusted the rearview mirror, glancing at Lin Hui in the back seat. Ever since he boarded, Lin Hui had maintained a demeanor akin to that of a Buddha, wearing a perpetual smile. The lieutenant colonel remarked, "You two are truly something else. In all my years of service, this is the first time I've encountered individuals who would resort to self-harm to coerce their enemies into submission." Lin Hui chuckled. When a rabbit is cornered, it will bite. How much more can be expected from 4 living beings? The lieutenant colonel was taken aback. So, are we going to resort to gasoline? Lin Hui nodded earnestly. I would rather die standing than live kneeling. This has always been my personal principle. We represent the red side, and to uphold our dignity and face, we must be prepared to sacrifice ourselves for righteousness. To hell with that. Wang Yong erupted in anger. Why don't you douse yourself in gasoline then? You are willing to sacrifice us for your own ideals. Chen Eru was also displeased, nearly frightened to the point of wetting himself. Exactly. This is too unfair. What if you accidentally set us on fire? Lin Hui grinned. We are brothers. Let us not sweat the small details. I do this with your best interests at heart. If I were to ignite myself, how heartbroken you two would be. Chen Eru nodded. If you were gone, I would surely cry for days. Lin Hui agreed. Exactly. Besides, haven't you both been clamoring to be martyrs? I'm merely providing you with that opportunity. I cannot guarantee success, but I believe that should this fire take hold, you two would be seen as brave martyrs. The greatest heroes. The nation would honor you with awards and memorials, your ashes resting in the martyrs' cemetery, bringing glory to your families. The two were confounded by Lin Hui's words. Something felt off, but they could not articulate what it was. Lin Hui seized the moment. Tell me, am I not thinking of you? I've given this wonderful opportunity to you instead of keeping it for myself. Would you not agree that I am quite noble? The two, in a daze, nodded. It does seem that way. The lieutenant colonel nearly spat blood in disbelief. These two were utterly foolish, being led astray and yet helping to count the money. However, there was no denying the audacity and bravery of the four. They dared to storm into the Blue Army's command center and turn the situation upside down, especially this young man, who had been smiling throughout. His cunning ideas were the backbone of their success. The lieutenant colonel glanced at Lin Hui in the rearview mirror and inquired, "Young man, what is your name?" Lin Hui smiled faintly, reporting to the commander, "My name is Lin Hui, from the 6th Company of the 602nd Tiger Regiment." The lieutenant colonel nodded. "Ah, from the 6th Company. That explains your cleverness." Lin Hui replied with a smile, "Thank you for the compliment, sir." Beside him, Suda looked on with pride, grateful for this audacious young man. Not only had he contributed greatly to the red side, but he also brought honor to the 6th Company. Being his squad leader was truly a blessing from a past life. The lieutenant colonel smiled and remarked, "Lin Hui, as a new recruit with less than a year of service, knowing to target the command vehicle shows a profound understanding of the military. Does your family have a history of military service?" Lin Hui chuckled. "No, my entire family are butchers." The lieutenant colonel was taken aback. "Butchers?" Chen Eru quickly chimed in. Yes. Their whole family are butchers. Not only do they butcher, but they also raise pigs, chickens, and geese." Wang Yong scratched his head, recalling that Lin Hui had mentioned a relative who served in the military. Was he mistaken? Colonel's eyes twitched violently at the corners. "Is your family engaged in aquaculture? How can the son of a farmer possess such an understanding of the military? After all, my father is also a soldier." He couldn't shake the feeling that Lin Hui seemed to know more than he did. Before long, the convoy returned to the director's base. As the blue forces disembarked from the vehicle, a chorus of laughter erupted from a distance. "Oh, look who it is, our esteemed blue commander. Old Jiang, what brings you here? Did you come to offer us condolences?" The red team erupted in laughter, led by the deputy division commander of the red forces. Jiang Yunlong shot him a fierce glare. "What are you so excited about? Haven't you seen a corpse before?" The deputy commander laughed heartily. "I've seen my share of corpses, but I never expected you would join us in death. This truly brings me joy. By the way, old Jiang, where did those 2 peculiar marks on your chest come from? They are quite distinctive." Jiang Yunlong glanced down and felt his face flush with embarrassment. That damn Lin Hui. Instead of shooting elsewhere, he had to aim for sensitive areas. Watching the red team mock him and reflecting on his own humiliating demise made his eyes burn with rage. He wished he could exact 1,000 cuts on Lin Hui. Meanwhile, the chief director scrutinized the battle plan while glancing at the screen, deep in thought. An aide nearby inquired, "Chief, what should we do next?" The director replied solemnly, Notify both the red and blue sides to cease combat. This exercise will conclude in a draw. Everyone stared in shock, eyes wide. A draw? Chief, I must have misheard. The blue forces currently hold the advantage. Indeed. The red side was left with only 2 battered regiments, totaling less than a third of the blue force's strength. How could a draw be justified? The director coldly retorted. The blue command post has been lost, and the entire command system is paralyzed, unable to issue operational orders. Each regiment below must fend for itself. Although the red forces are outnumbered, they hold the advantage of terrain. If the blue forces possessed the capability, they would have already seized it. Without coordinated efforts, a reckless assault by the blue forces will surely result in heavy losses. Considering the circumstances, declaring a draw is quite generous. The group fell silent, acknowledging the truth of the situation. The battle had indeed become a stalemate. Though the red forces were reduced to less than 2 regiments, their positional advantage allowed them to fight to the bitter end. The blue forces, devoid of a command structure, were akin to the deaf and blind. Without the ability to coordinate, they risked being picked off one by the red side. Even if the red forces were entirely annihilated, the blue side would undoubtedly suffer grievous losses, inflicting 1,000 casualties while losing 800 of their own. This battle held no true victor. A draw, it seemed, was not without merit. An officer nearby sighed in resignation. Who could have anticipated such an outcome? I thought the blue forces had it in the bag. Not only did they fail to foresee this, but even the chief director was taken aback. Relying on just a few red pawns, they had managed to outmaneuver the opposing commander. Taking a deep breath, he instructed, ensure those 4 red soldiers are closely monitored, especially the one in charge. Once the exercise concludes, I wish to speak with him. Understood. After everyone departed, the chief director revealed a smile, expressing his unexpected delight. Meanwhile, the atmosphere in the Red Command was exceedingly tense. The chief of staff anxiously remarked, Commander, the Blue Army is about to launch a fierce assault from both the east and west flanks. What shall we do? Lu Qingsong was equally distressed. The Blue Army had mobilized all its forces for a total offensive, determined to annihilate them at any cost. Were it not for their advantageous terrain and tactical maneuvering, they would have been obliterated numerous times. However, that strategy was no longer viable. He unfolded a map and pointed to a specific location. This position represents the Blue Army's vulnerability. Our only chance of survival lies in a desperate breakout from this direction. Someone nearby interjected, but if we charge through here, we will at least suffer half our casualties. Lu Qingsong slammed his hand on the table, exclaiming, we cannot afford to hesitate. If we do not take the risk, we shall be defeated here. This is our last opportunity, even in defeat. We must ensure that we do not face total annihilation. The eyes of everyone present were filled with righteous indignation. Warfare inevitably brings death. This exercise was as real as combat. The stakes of this battle involved the honor of the Red Army, and even in the face of certain loss, they would fight fiercely to the end. Lu Qingsong bellowed, relay the orders. Prepare for a breakout. Yes, everyone shouted in fervent agreement, prepared to face death without fear. Just then, an officer rushed in, breathless. Report. Lu Qingsong inquired, what is it? The officer looked up and stated, Commander, the Directorate has suddenly declared the exercise concluded and ordered us to cease all combat. The exercise is over. Lu Qingsong was bewildered. It hasn't even begun. How can it be over? Have they declared the Blue Army the victors outright? The Chief of Staff seethed with anger. How can they do this? We still have so many forces remaining. To declare an end like this is sheer bullying. Amid the collective outrage, the officer awkwardly added, Commander, the Directorate has declared the exercise concluded, with both sides ending in a tie. A stunned silence enveloped the room as everyone's eyes widened in disbelief. Even Lu Qingsong was taken aback. This doesn't make sense. The Blue Army had a distinct advantage. How could it possibly be a tie? Is there an error? Absolutely not. The officer asserted gravely. The order was indeed issued by the Directorate, and we are instructed to cease all hostilities. Lu Qingsong's jaw dropped in disbelief. What on earth was happening? They were on the brink of defeat, and now it was suddenly a tie? Chapter 74. The exercise concludes. Lin Hui becomes a great hero 2 hours later. The exercise was officially concluded. High-ranking officials from both the red and blue sides gathered at the Directorate. When Jiang Yunlong spotted Lu Qingsong approaching with a broad smile, a shiver ran down his spine, prompting him to cover his face and turn away. Having just endured enough ridicule at the holding facility, he had no desire to see any Red Army members, particularly Lu Qingsong, renowned for his sharp tongue. Oh. Isn't this the Blue Army commander, Jiang Yunlong? Why the haste? Came a mocking voice from behind, compelling Jiang Yunlong to halt. He turned around, glaring fiercely at Lu Qingsong. What business is it of yours? I'm in a hurry to relieve myself. Is that a problem? LV Qingsong chuckled. All right. One must heed nature's calls. But tell me, what good does your swiftness serve now? when my men dismantled the command center. Had you been able to run this fast, you wouldn't have met your demise. Zhang Yunlong spat. Bah. Spare me your sarcastic remarks. It was merely your luck. If not for a hair's breadth, I could have obliterated all of you. With a smug expression, LV Qingsong retorted, luck is indeed part of strength. Besides, can we really label it as a near miss? Failure is failure. Do not seek excuses. Look at you, stripped of your men while I thrive. It's reminiscent of the conflict between King Chu and Liu Bang. Fortunate it is that this was merely a drill, otherwise, I would have had to attend your memorial service. Zhang Yunlong felt as though he might explode with rage. You wretched opportunist. Yet, at the end of the day, it was indeed his own miscalculations that led to this debacle. Even if he wished to argue, he found no grounds for rebuttal. How could he when he lay defeated while his adversary flourished? At that moment, personnel from the directorate emerged, clapping their hands. Enough chatter. Come inside. We are about to conduct a debriefing of the exercise. LV Qingsong laughed heartily. What is there to review? It's merely a matter of our red team enduring humiliation, valiantly battling, and ultimately dismantling the Blue Army's command. Zhang Yunlong's eyes blazed with fury. He wished nothing more than to tear the man's tongue from his mouth. The officer from the directorate twitched at the corners of his mouth. What is there to boast about? Had it not been for those soldiers, your red team would have lost long ago. Such arrogance. Turning to Zhang Yunlong, LV Qingsong said, Old Zhang, I genuinely feel remorseful. Before the exercise, I instructed my subordinates to feign weakness, allowing the Blue Army to fight comfortably and joyfully. Who could have foreseen that those four rascals would reveal our true capabilities, inadvertently leading to the dismantling of your command? This predicament is quite embarrassing for me as well. As he jovially strolled into the conference room, the ire of every member of the Blue Army simmered beneath the surface. The desire to confront him was palpable. Zhang Yunlong was equally furious. What had once been a surefire victory had turned into this. Though the outcome was officially a draw, everyone understood that the Blue Army's performance equated to defeat. Commander. Zhang Yunlong turned to see a member of the Black Tiger Special Forces approaching, his fury igniting further. You dare show your face here? Li Ming lowered his head. Commander, I sincerely apologize. Zhang Yunlong coldly scoffed. You ought to apologize. Your failure is not merely to me, but to the entire Blue Army. We invited you to assist in combat, not to frolic in leisure. Li Ming's countenance darkened. I have been diligently searching for their whereabouts. I never anticipated those four audacious rodents would dare infiltrate the Blue Army command. This was indeed an oversight on our part. Had we received advance notice, the Black Tigers could have secured the command, potentially preventing this debacle. Zhang Yunlong narrowed his eyes. What do you imply? Are you suggesting my men are worthless? No. Li Ming hastily waved his hands. I merely meant to convey that these individuals are exceedingly cunning, warranting our utmost vigilance. Zhang Yunlong rolled his eyes, implying that it was a reflection on the incompetence of his Blue Army. He snorted in frustration and exclaimed, What nonsense, special forces. They are merely decorative pillows, pleasing to the eye but utterly useless. You were so adamant in your assurances before the exercise, yet now you can't even catch a few insignificant mice, leading to the downfall of my entire command. Furthermore, I have heard that while we were engaged in battle, you were busy catching wild boars for a barbecue? Li Ming, feeling the heat of anger rising within him, interjected, Sir, that matter is enough. Zhang Yunlong cut him off sharply. I do not wish to hear any explanations, nor do I want to see you right now. Leave, and the further you go, the better. Li Ming suppressed his fury. Good news rarely leaves the confines of a room, while bad news spreads like wildfire. They indeed had consumed the wild boars. This was a matter that could not be denied. Zhang Yunlong undoubtedly believed they had come to picnic rather than to engage in combat. This was a situation he could not clarify. It was hardly feasible to explain that their special forces had employed high-tech methods, deploying helicopters for hours, only to return with 4 wild boars. Although he was not directly under Zhang Yunlong's command, as a crucial external support, he bore significant responsibility for the battlefield defeat. Turning his gaze, Li Ming fixed his eyes on Lin Hui and his companions, confined within the detention facility, with a fiery intensity. Lin Hui, is it? I shall remember you. Lin Hui sensed a penetrating gaze upon him and frowned. Oh, daring to glare at me. You've crossed the line. He shot a look back in retaliation. Wang Yong and Chun Eru, noticing the situation, immediately became displeased. Daring to glare at my brother Hui? You're asking for trouble. Following suit, they glared back at Li Ming, leaving him utterly bewildered. Damn it, 3 big fools. In the director's meeting room, the exercise video was being replayed. As the video concluded, the chief director began to summarize the events. He addressed the assembly with a grave demeanor. In summary, prior to the exercise, the Red faction significantly misjudged the strength of the Blue Army, which was the primary reason for their dismal defeat. Observing the stern expression on Liu Qingsong's face, Jiang Yunlong couldn't help but wear a smug grin. Finally, a victory for him. The chief director continued, however, after the Blue Army established an overwhelming advantage. They grew complacent, ultimately resulting in the complete destruction of their command post, which is a significant oversight on your part. Jiang Yunlong's smile faltered, his expression darkening. Lu Qingsong flashed a triumphant smile at him. See? You've been reprimanded. The director's tone grew serious. Warfare is never a trivial matter. Had this been a real battlefield, the entire Blue Army would have suffered severe repercussions due to the loss of your command post. Not only would the various units have been unable to coordinate effectively, but they would also have been vulnerable to a counterattack from the Red faction, resulting in substantial casualties. He looked at Jiang Yunlong and the others. Thus, even if you were to fall in battle, you must bear considerable responsibility. Jiang Yunlong quickly rose, his demeanor sincere. Sir, I admit I was indeed somewhat negligent. Not somewhat. You were exceedingly negligent. The chief director retorted coldly. Look at your personnel. The majority were captured without even donning smoke detection devices. What does that signify? The individuals involved had not anticipated a counterattack. However, the outcome was quite the contrary. Jiang Yunlong's visage appeared as if coated in wax, utterly dismal. Victory seemed assured, imminent even. Who could have foreseen that the red team would ultimately secure a comeback with the aid of four insignificant mice? The chief director coldly declared, upon your return, every member of the Blue Army must engage in thorough self-reflection, particularly you, Commander. I expect a written report of 20,000 words. Jiang Yunlong's eyes widened in disbelief. 20,000 words? Surely, that would be tantamount to writing one to death. Lu Qingsong, witnessing his expression, found it impossible to suppress his amusement. Given the circumstances of the battle, he had braced himself for sacrifice, yet unexpectedly, they managed to achieve a draw. Lin Hui, indeed, proved to be a chip off the old block, inheriting the prowess of his father. Upon returning, he must be duly recognized for his contributions. What is so amusing? The chief director's icy glare silenced Lu Qingsong, propelling him to stand abruptly. Yes, sir. The chief director sternly continued. What do you mean by yes? The red team's shortcomings have been laid bare, and you still find humor in this situation? Lu Qingsong quickly pressed his lips together, mentally revisiting the most sorrowful moments of his life, striving to suppress the triumphant smile that had surfaced. He was being reprimanded, after all. The chief director asserted, Lu Qingsong, do not presume that your unit, 602, boasts a glorious legacy that grants you any exceptional standing. Times are progressing, and so must the military. Observe the West, engaging in modern information warfare, while you persist with antiquated strategies. Stagnation invites defeat. Even the finest traditions must evolve. We encourage you to uphold the spirit of your predecessors, but not to retreat into complacency. Warfare is never static. Indeed, Lu Qingsong replied earnestly, I have come to a profound understanding of our shortcomings in combat. Upon my return, I shall reflect deeply and produce a written report of 20,000 words. Is 20,000 words sufficient? Given this debacle, make it 30,000. Yes, Lu Qingsong exclaimed loudly. The chief director shot him a disdainful glance and waved his hand dismissively. Enough. The debriefing concludes here. You may submit commendations for those who demonstrated exceptional performance during this exercise. Understood. The group nodded in unison and swiftly departed. Not long after they left, an officer entered, leading Lin Hui. Upon sighting the chief director, Lin Hui was momentarily taken aback. Uncle Chun, what brings you here? Chun Guangming chuckled, delivering a playful punch to Lin Hui's shoulder. You rascal, after all these years, you've become quite formidable. Lin Hui scratched his head. Not really, I merely performed as usual. Chun Guangming laughed heartily. What modesty. The moment I heard your name, I knew it must be you. You've always had a knack for mischief. No one else could concoct such outrageous antics. Lin Hui scratched his head again. Uncle Chun, are you complimenting me or scolding me? Clearly, it is a compliment. Chun Guangming smiled. If I were to scold you, your father would undoubtedly seek me out to settle the score. Lin Hui scoffed. He wouldn't bother you. He would relish it if I were reprimanded daily. The harsher the scolding, the more pleased he becomes. Chun Guangming waved his hand dismissively. It seems you harbor quite a misunderstanding about your father. However, this time you have made a remarkable contribution. I will personally commend you to those in higher authority. And soon, you may anticipate a personal accolade from your esteemed father. Lin Hui rolled his eyes, exclaiming, it's merely an exercise, not an actual battle. What merit is there in that? How could he possibly reward me? Chun Guangming smiled faintly, choosing to say no more. Yet, he was genuinely astonished by Lin Hui's performance during the drill. Was this truly the same young wastrel? How had such a drastic transformation occurred? He could hardly recognize him. Meanwhile, Lin Guangyao, leaning heavily on the table, abruptly stood up, incredulous. What did you just say? Lin Hui, along with a few others, stormed the Blue Army command post, turning the tide of the battle. and it ended in a stalemate? Am I mishearing you? Or have you made an error? Lin Rui, standing opposite, affirmed, it's absolutely true. The information came directly from the directing department. Lin Guangyao's face was a mask of disbelief. Is this truly my son? How on earth did he manage that? Chapter 75. Happiness comes unexpectedly. My son has become a war hero. Lin Guangyao rushed to Lin Rui's side, still in shock. Just moments ago, Lin Rui had recounted the detailed events. Yet, it felt as though he were trapped in a dream. It seemed so surreal. Was he still the same son who only thought of indulgence? He had merely intended for him to serve for a couple of years, to gain some experience, and learn to be a better person. How had he become a war hero? Lin Guangyao grasped Lin Rui's shoulders firmly. You must take Lin Hui to the hospital immediately to see if something has gone awry in his mind, or if he has suffered some sort of trauma. Dad, what are you talking about? Lin Rui replied, exasperated. Haven't you always wished for Lin Hui to thrive? Now that he has improved, why this reaction? Lin Guangyao took a couple of steps back, momentarily stunned, before suddenly covering his face and squatting on the ground, bursting into hearty laughter. He then stood up, laughed a few more times, and finally returned to his seat. Lin Rui, startled by his father's behavior, asked, Dad, are you alright? If you're unwell, you should see a doctor. You're the one who's unwell. Lin Guangyao shot him a glare. I am simply overwhelmed by this unexpected joy. I need a moment to collect myself. How could my son suddenly have matured? It's utterly baffling. Lin Rui, exasperated, replied, Dad, what is so hard to comprehend? It simply indicates that Lin Hui has truly transformed. Yes. Lin Guangyao nodded vigorously. He has indeed changed, so much so that I hardly recognize him. Lin Rui smiled, saying, as soldiers, we understand that in warfare, if a soldier strays from his unit, he risks losing his fighting spirit. Yet Lin Hui, without orders or support, managed to lead 3 others into battle, ultimately taking down the Blue Army command post. Without a guiding belief, he would never have persevered until the end. Lin Guangyao nodded in agreement. Indeed, I had not considered that. Lin Rui continued with a slight smile. I believe he harbors a deep-seated conviction that propels him forward, rendering the need for your encouragement unnecessary. Lin Guangyao paused, his eyes suddenly alight. Are you suggesting that he genuinely desires to be a commendable soldier? Isn't that the case? Lin Guangyao paced excitedly, exclaiming, Yes. I knew this young man would suddenly have an epiphany. He applauded vigorously. Wonderful, splendid. This lad has finally realized the importance of taking action. Those old geezers from the other military districts can no longer claim he is merely a product of the neighboring Wang family. Lin Rui, bemused, thought. But our neighbor doesn't even have the surname Wang. He cleared his throat and suggested, Father, given Xiao Hui's outstanding performance, which has far exceeded our expectations, should you not arrange for him to come under your wing? Lin Guangyao was taken aback. He is doing quite well in the 602nd. Why bring him here? Lin Rui rolled his eyes. Do you still see him as the same? With such remarkable achievements in the exercises, he will undoubtedly be cherished upon his return. If we don't bring him now, will there be another opportunity? He continued, by transferring him closer, you can nurture him in an elite unit and facilitate his promotion. Furthermore, his increasing excellence will reflect positively on you. Upon hearing the last remark, Lin Guangyao slapped his thigh in excitement. Indeed, this young man, who once brought me nothing but shame, is finally poised to enhance my reputation. He called out, Secretary Zhao. Secretary Zhao quickly entered. Sir, what are your instructions? Lin Guangyao replied, please arrange my schedule. I need to visit the 602 ND's Elite 6th Company. Yes, sir. After the secretary exited, he cheerfully turned to Lin Rui. I am eager for his return. I will ensure he receives the training he deserves, making him as exceptional as his father. Lin Rui nearly rolled his eyes to the heavens. Was there really a need for self-praise? Nonetheless, it was beneficial for Lin Hui to return, as it would allow the brothers to reunite more often. In the regiment's office, Lin Hui and his 3 companions stood nervously before Zhou Zhongyi, who wore a serious expression. I have heard that during the exercise, you captured a Blue Army Special Forces soldier, stripped him of his clothes, and bound him to a tree? Lin Hui awkwardly replied. Commander, he was interrupted by Zhou, who raised a hand. I have also been informed that you impersonated the cooking team and administered laxatives in the Blue Army's meals, turning an entire missile battalion into jet fighters. Moreover, you infiltrated the Blue Army's command center and eliminated their commander? The 4 young men swallowed nervously, their faces betraying their guilt. Oh no, have we gone too far? Are we going to face disciplinary action? Or perhaps someone ended up in the hospital? As they floundered in uncertainty, Zhou slammed his hand on the table. What you did was absolutely brilliant. They exchanged glances, relief washing over them. They had feared punishment. Zhou Zhongyi laughed heartily. Those Blue Army buffoons are nothing but trouble. No amount of high technology can save them, and they still lost. You have avenged us splendidly. Well done. He approached Lin Hui, patting him on the shoulder. Especially you. Young man, you were the most impressive. Lin Hui grinned sheepishly. Commander, it's not that I am exceptional. It's simply that the enemy's skill level was lacking. Zhou Zhongyi laughed heartily, exclaiming, Indeed, it is not our strength that shines, but rather the contrast provided by our adversaries. However, before he could finish his sentence, the door swung open abruptly. Commander LV Qingsong entered with a group of personnel. Commander, the others quickly saluted. Zhou Zhongyi, with a beaming smile, remarked, Commander, these four are the ones who distinguished themselves during the exercise. LV Qingsong shot him a glare, retorting, What nonsense? Do I need you to tell me that? I came specifically for them. Zhou Zhongyi chuckled and stepped aside. LV Qingsong scanned the group, inquiring, Who is Lin Hui? Reporting, Commander, I am he. Lin Hui responded. A radiant smile spread across LV Qingsong's face as he patted Lin Hui's shoulder vigorously, saying, It's you, young man. Quite impressive indeed. You exude a commanding presence, truly a fine soldier. Upon hearing this, those around could not help but roll their eyes. Did they not sense that the brigade commander was flattering Lin Hui? Was it merely an illusion? Lin Hui replied loudly, Thank you for the compliment, Commander. I can certainly strive for even greater achievements. LV Qingsong laughed heartily. In this exercise, you truly brought me honor. You have no idea how frustrating it was when our red forces were relentlessly pursued and besieged by the Blue Army. Zhou Zhongyi empathized. Commander, I understand your plight. He recalled when he was chased like a dog by the Blue Army, desperately hiding in a nondescript village, only to be discovered and bombarded. The feeling was indeed exasperating. LV Qingsong, with a smug expression, continued, Especially when I witnessed the Blue Army commander perish right before my eyes at the command center, I was genuinely elated. You should have seen their faces. They looked as if they were suffering from constipation. Though the Blue Army had decimated his troops, what did it matter? With such overwhelming numbers and advantages, they still fell before me. The Red forces simply have stronger resilience. Ha ha ha. Lin Hui found himself speechless. What level of frustration could lead to such joy? It was almost comical. The others exchanged glances, muttering, Is it truly your resilience? Clearly. It was Lin Hui's prowess at play. What does that have to do with you? We were nearly obliterated. Of course, they kept these thoughts to themselves, daring not to voice them. Unable to contain himself, Lin Hui asked, Commander, with such significant achievements, will there be any rewards? Yes, indeed. LV Qingsong replied with a hearty laugh. This time, not just you, but all four of you share in the credit. Instantly, spirits lifted, chests puffed out, and excitement radiated from their faces. LV Qingsong continued with a smile. Lin Hui receives the highest commendation, a second-class merit. The rest of you will receive third-class merits. Wang Yong's expression immediately soured as he quietly grumbled, Why is it only a third-class merit? I thought we would at least receive second-class honors. Our contributions are far too significant for such a meager reward. Chun Eru echoed his dissatisfaction. Exactly. Brother Hui was so formidable, capturing the command post. And he doesn't even get a first-class merit. That's quite unfair. Zhou Zhongyi shot a disapproving glance at the two, admonishing, You should be grateful. This is merely an exercise, not a real battle. If it weren't for your successful capture of the enemy's command post, you wouldn't even qualify for a third-class merit, perhaps just a commendation. The two appeared dejected, their spirits dampened. Yet, Lin Hui maintained a positive demeanor. In the exercise, his exaggeration was merely a ploy to invigorate the enthusiasm of those two. Nevertheless, for the new recruits, earning a third-class merit is commendable. Lin Hui turned to Suda, a smile gracing his lips. With this third-class merit, the squad leader should be able to remain, without the need to depart. Lu Qingsong chuckled, stating that the merit medals would be distributed in a few days, encouraging them to continue their diligent efforts. Yes, the four saluted in unison. Lu Qingsong then turned to Zhou Zhongyi, his expression suddenly serious. Step outside with me. I need to discuss something with you. Zhou Zhongyi paused for a moment, instructed the other four to return, and quickly followed him out. After they exited, Suda turned around, looking gratefully at Lin Hui. Lin Hui, thank you. Lin Hui responded with a slight smile. Why thank me? You should thank yourself. This is what you deserve. Suda felt warmth in his heart. Without Lin Hui, he would surely not have received this honor. Suddenly, he noticed Lin Hui and the others approaching him with mischievous grins. What are you up to? Guess. The trio rushed forward and hoisted Suda high into the air. Whoa, whoa, whoa. When they finally set him down, Suda was dizzy, nearly losing his lunch on the commander's desk. Lin Hui laughed heartily. On this day, we must celebrate. Hu and Wang Yong, you two take the squad leader to the service center and see what goodies there are. Buy everything except for alcohol. It's on me. All right. The two chuckled. The army has a strict no-alcohol policy, and unless specially approved by superiors, drinking is prohibited. However, soft drinks would suffice. Suda quickly protested. No, no, no. How can I let you pay? Wang Yong seized him and began dragging him outside. Oh, come on. Hui Gu is wealthy. His father is a pig farmer. So this little expense is nothing. Chun Eru pushed from behind. Exactly. We must get more. If we get less, it would be disrespectful to Huigo. Suda found himself helpless, ultimately being dragged to the service center by the two. Lin Hui felt quite pleased, planning to check the nearby convenience store for other treats. It wasn't a difficult task. A simple application to the company commander would suffice. Given his standing in the company, obtaining a pass would be a breeze. With a cheerful demeanor, Lin Hui left the office, but just a few steps away, he suddenly heard a cold voice from the adjacent room. Your regiment is being disbanded. Chapter 76. The Tiger Regiment, disbanded. Zhou Zhongyi, feeling a surge of frustration, saluted. Yes. Lu Qingsong regarded him. Can the difficulties be overcome? Zhou Zhongyi's body trembled slightly as he struggled to respond. They can be overcome. I will surely complete the tasks assigned by the division. Lu Qingsong patted him, letting out a sigh. You've worked hard. With that, he solemnly saluted Zhou Zhongyi before turning to leave. The Tiger Regiment was the prized possession of the 602nd. Issuing such an order felt akin to carving flesh from one's own body. Each second spent lingering here was a torment for him. As Lu Qingsong turned to open the door, he was taken aback. Lin Hui. There stood Lin Hui at the entrance, his eyes red, staring intently at him. What are you doing here? Zhou Zhongyi's astonished voice echoed from within the room. Lin Hui remained silent, his gaze fixed intensely on LV Qingsong, filled with uncontainable anger. Commander, during this exercise, didn't the Red Team reach a stalemate with the Blue Army? Did we not dismantle the Blue Army as command? Why then? Must our regiment be disbanded? Is my merit not sufficient to secure our regiment's existence? LV Qingsong was momentarily taken aback, at a loss for words. Lin Hui's contributions were indeed significant, yet they bore no relation to the disbandment of the unit. The two matters could not be conflated in any manner. Zhou Zhongyi strode over, bellowing at Lin Hui. Lin Hui, how dare you speak to a superior like that? This is not your place to voice your opinions. Step aside. Lin Hui stubbornly retorted. Commander, I am a soldier of the Tiger Regiment. This is my home. Now, my home is on the brink of vanishing, and I have the right to know the truth. He stared intently at LV Qingsong, articulating each word. Why? Exactly. Must our regiment be disbanded? Zhou Zhongyi felt a surge of anger, realizing the audacity of this young man challenging a superior. Did he not care about his future? He pointed a finger at Lin Hui, ready to unleash a torrent of reprimands, but the words caught in his throat. In that instant, he grasped the essence of Lin Hui's actions. This was entirely for himself and for the entire regiment. At that moment, Zhou Zhongyi felt a lump in his throat, his eyes misting over. It dawned on him that the soldier under his command possessed such fervor and determination. After a prolonged silence, LV Qingsong regarded Lin Hui and inquired. Lin Hui, I recall you have not been here long. Do you truly hold such deep feelings for this place? Lin Hui replied earnestly. Even if I have only been here for a day, this is my home. Here are my comrades, my squad leader, and my respected company commander, regiment commander, and instructor. I have already left behind many homes, and I do not wish to lose this one as well. Zhou Zhongyi turned away, tears streaming down his face. Was this not his home too? He had ascended from platoon leader to company commander and ultimately to regiment commander, pouring all his youth, effort, and sweat into this place. The impending disbandment affected him more profoundly than anyone else. Yet, as the regiment commander, he could not express his emotions as Lin Hui did. He could only conceal his anguish. The mission and duty of a soldier mandated unwavering obedience to orders and the need to overcome adversity. LV Qingsong had not anticipated Lin Hui would express such sentiments. When he had initially sent Lin Hui to tend to the pigs, the young man had displayed a flippant attitude. In just a few short months, his mindset had undergone such a remarkable transformation. It seemed he had discovered the true meaning of being a soldier and genuinely aspired to be a good one. Regrettably, LV Qingsong felt helpless. The orders came from above. And regardless of his reluctance, he was powerless to alter the course. He gazed at Lin Hui and patiently explained, Comrade Lin Hui, perhaps my previous wording was not precise enough. Your regiment is not being disbanded, but rather streamlined. Lin Hui paused, bewildered. What does that mean? LV Qingsong took a deep breath. Lin Hui, I understand your current feelings and recognize your attachment to this place. As time progresses, the military must enhance its combat effectiveness by streamlining personnel. To illustrate this simply, while a tank once required 4 operators, the latest models can be managed by just 3. What then becomes of the surplus individual? Lin Hui fell silent, for he understood that the surplus must depart. Lu Qingsong sighed, stating, Our unit, despite its illustrious and historic legacy, must comply with orders when the time comes, whether it be you, other regiments, or even myself. We must strive to adapt to the evolution of the military. Do you understand? Lin Hui, with a grave expression, replied, Commander, I do not grasp these profound truths. Nor do I wish to. I am but an ordinary soldier. I simply wish to exert myself alongside my comrades, and for that goal, we all give our utmost. Yet in the end, we toil in vain, unable to even safeguard our own homes. Enough. Zhou Zhongyi wiped away the tears from his face, turning in anger. Lin Hui, do you not comprehend the commander's words? This matter has nothing to do with effort. Lin Hui anxiously questioned, but why must it be our regiment? Zhou Zhongyi felt a deep pang of sorrow. He, too, sought to understand why it had to be their unit. Their regiment had excelled in exercises, achieving the highest overall scores in the division. The elite 6th Company had repeatedly garnered honors in past battles, and he believed that this round of streamlining would not affect the Tiger Regiment. Yet, why were they the first to be chosen? Grasping Lin Hui's shoulders, Zhou Zhongyi solemnly stated, your sorrow is matched by ours, but as soldiers, we must obey orders. If they command us to disband, we shall disband. If they require us to streamline, we must comply. Lin Hui's lips trembled, tears glistening in his eyes. He had a multitude of things he wished to express. Yet gazing into the commander's eyes, filled with undeniable pain and heartache, he could not voice them. For even if he understood the reasons, what would that change? Military orders are as unyielding as a mountain. Lu Qingsong patted his shoulder, saying, Lin Hui, you are a commendable soldier. This streamlining does not directly concern you. It primarily targets the Tiger Regiment, and arrangements have already been made for you. He continued, in these days, bid farewell to the old unit well. You are exceptional and deserve to go to a better place. Lin Hui choked up, asking, but what about them? What will happen to the veterans? He knew that his outstanding performance in the exercises would likely place him in the forefront of considerations for new arrangements. Yet, he did not wish to leave. Did not want to part from his squad leader, for he had promised Hu and Wang Yong that they would enter the 6th Company together. Would he break that promise? Lu Qingsong reassured him, the commendable soldiers in the regiment will remain. They will be assigned to other units, further enhancing our division's combat capability. As for some veterans, even if they return home, I am confident they will not tarnish the name of the 602nd, continuing to shine and contribute to the nation and its people. With that, Lu Qingsong stepped back and saluted Lin Hui. The officers behind him widened their eyes in shock. He never imagined in his wildest dreams that a superior would salute a mere private. What an extraordinary honor. Let us go? Seeing Lin Hui's lack of response, LV Qingsong sighed helplessly and turned to leave. Lin Hui stood there, dazed, his mind a blank slate. At that moment, Zhou Zhongyi's expression softened. He approached Lin Hui, intending to offer some words of comfort. However, as the words hung on the tip of his tongue, he could not bring himself to speak. With a resigned shake of his head, Zhou Zhongyi retreated to his office, closing the door firmly behind him. It was not just Lin Hui who needed some solitude. He too required a moment of reflection. Lin Hui felt lost, his thoughts a muddled mess. He couldn't even recall how he made it back to the dormitory. Sitting on the bench like a marionette, his eyes were vacant. Why was this happening? Why, despite his efforts, did the outcome remain the same? Was he destined to leave once more? The turmoil within him grew unbearable. He suddenly felt that the military life was far too convoluted. Despite performing admirably, he was still at the mercy of downsizing. If that were the case, what was the purpose of striving? In the end, he couldn't even secure a place to call home. Suddenly, voices echoed down the corridor. Wang Yong strolled in with a grin, halting abruptly upon seeing Lin Hui. Hey, Brother Hui, you're back. Chun Eru entered, cradling a large cardboard box overflowing with snacks. Brother Hui, look at all the delicious treats I bought. Beef jerky, hot dogs, figs, spicy strips, duck legs, chicken feet. Noticing Lin Hui seated on the bed, seemingly oblivious, Chun Eru called out, what is wrong with Brother Hui? I have no idea. Sudo approached slowly, giving Lin Hui a gentle nudge. Lin Hui, what is the matter? Lin Hui looked up at the squad leader, his emotions a tangled web. He yearned to share his feelings with them, but upon seeing the beaming smiles on their faces, he ultimately chose to swallow his words. Some burdens were too heavy to share, he would bear them alone. Brother Hui, what is the matter? Wang Yong leaned in closer. Did the second-class merit have you so overjoyed that you've gone silly? Chun Eru, glancing at Lin Hui, sheepishly remarked, Brother Hui, did you buy too many snacks and feel guilty about the money? Don't worry, we've already covered it. Wang Yong insisted on treating us. Get out of here. Wang Yong shot back, eyes wide. Eru, we clearly agreed to split the cost. Chun Eru chuckled foolishly. I was just worried you wouldn't want to. I know you care about appearances. Lin Hui watched the two bickering, forcing a faint smile. What are you two arguing about? With an older brother like me around, do you even need to chip in? Don't you know we're not short on cash? He leaned in to inspect the bounty of food. I'm starving. Wow, you've really bought a lot. Suda paused for a moment, but quickly joined in. The duck legs are mine, and the cola is mine. So don't even think about snatching them. Before they knew it, 2 days had passed. One morning, the camp was abruptly filled with the sound of an emergency assembly whistle. Everyone quickly donned their gear and rushed outside to gather. Lin Hui gazed toward the distant playground, where the commander stood with a serious expression, and his heart sank. A sense of foreboding surged within. Soon, the entire battalion had assembled. The first company is ready. The second company is ready. Zhou Zhongyi nodded, commanding. At ease, stand straight. With a sharp sound, everyone locked their feet in place, standing tall and straight, as if they were steel rifles. Zhou Zhongyi's gaze swept across all present as he solemnly declared, "Comrades, I have something of great importance to discuss with you today." Lin Hui's pupils constricted, his heart trembling slightly. What was destined to come has indeed arrived. Chapter 77, One Last Charge, Attack. Zhou Zhongyi continued gravely. Firstly, I must address the recent exercises. This time, we exposed numerous issues. We were utterly defeated by the Blue Army shortly after the commencement. While their strength is one aspect, the greater concern lies within our own shortcomings. The expressions of everyone immediately darkened. The battalion's performance was undeniably poor during this exercise. Faced with the Blue Army's new tactics, they were rendered defenseless, suffering blows throughout. Upon returning, they had reflected on their performance. As the ancestors said, those who lag behind must endure punishment, and it proved true. Warfare is never static. Had this been a real war rather than an exercise, there would not be living souls standing here, but rather cold gravestones inscribed with names. The lessons learned must be thoroughly examined. Zhou Zhongyi asserted sternly. However, it is also imperative to commend the positives. In this battle, two comrades distinguished themselves remarkably. Everyone turned in unison, their gazes instinctively landing upon Lin Hui, and Suda held his head high, a smile gracing his face. Yet Lin Hui found no joy in the moment. Zhou Zhongyi smiled and affirmed, "Indeed, it is our 6th Company S. Lin Hui and Suda." In such arduous circumstances, while our entire battalion was annihilated, these two comrades, without orders or support, relied solely on their unwavering conviction to bring down the Blue Army's commander and even turn the tide of battle. They are the pride of our battalion and of the entire division. Zhang Jiantao, observing Lin Hui and Suda, was beaming. These two fellows are truly commendable. Zhou Zhongyi continued. In recognition of their outstanding performance during the exercises, with the approval of the division, I hereby award Lin Hui a 2nd-class merit medal and Suda a 3rd-class merit medal. Let us congratulate them. Thunderous applause erupted across the playground. Many had begun to see Lin Hui as a target to strive towards, eager to emulate his example. The events of the exercise were well known. Without Lin Hui, they would never have achieved a stalemate against the Blue Army. His intelligence, courage, and determination were worthy of emulation by all. The commander personally presented the merit medals. Suda gazed at the Medal of Honor in his hand, his eyes glistening with emotion. He had waited far too long for this accolade. In the beginning, during basic training, his impatience had exacted a heavy toll. Now, having endured so much, he finally obtained it. He turned to Lin Hui beside him and sincerely expressed his gratitude. "Lin Hui, thank you." Lin Hui smiled faintly. "Class leader, are you thanking me for the delay in your merit points by a few months? What nonsense are you talking about, you little rascal?" Suda playfully punched him, feeling an indescribable sense of emotion. At that moment, Lin Hui felt genuinely happy for him. However, his heart remained heavy with disappointment. Even though the class leader had received a 3rd-class merit and would not be discharged, he could not stay here, for he knew that the Tiger Regiment was about to be disbanded. Zhou Zhongyi waved his hand, and the venue fell silent. He looked at everyone with an incredibly solemn expression and said, "Having completed the first matter, I must now announce the second." Upon seeing the commander's expression, Lin Hui's heart sank, and his demeanor turned serious. "So it is indeed coming." Zhou Zhongyi spoke gravely. "I have received notice from the division. This time, the military is undergoing a significant reform, and our division is a focal point, with our regiment being the centerpiece of that focus." At that moment, a gust of wind swept through, and dark clouds covered the sun. The faces of everyone mirrored the gloomy sky. Zhou Zhongyi continued. "The orders from the division have been issued, and the first to be streamlined is our regiment. However, there is no need for concern. The designation of our Tiger Regiment will be retained, though our regiment's structure will be disbanded." The faces of all present changed dramatically. The loss of structure effectively equated to disbandment. The venue erupted in agitation, and everyone became emotionally unsettled. Even Suda's expression grew exceedingly grim. After enduring countless hardships to achieve a 3rd-class merit, he had thought he would remain, but now his home was about to vanish. How could he accept that? Before he could voice his thoughts, Zhang Jiantao could no longer contain himself and shouted, "Commander, with so many regiments, why have they singled us out? This is unjust." Other captains also expressed their agitation. "Commander, can we not negotiate further? Our regiment is the mainstay of the entire division, in terms of training or honors. Which regiment can compare with us? Why us?" "Silence!" Zhou Zhongyi bellowed, and the venue fell silent once more. "You all know our regiment is commendable, don't you? Then let me ask you, how did we perform in this exercise? Everyone flushed with embarrassment and fell silent. Their performance in the exercise was indeed abysmal. One could say it was hardly worth watching. Although Lin Hui and Su De had earned merits, it ultimately had no substantial connection to the regiment. It was merely their personal achievements. Zhou Zhongyi felt a mix of anger and helplessness. Times are advancing. Even the most illustrious old units will face obsolescence if they do not evolve. Zhang Jiantao, filled with emotion, responded, Commander, we cannot let one failure negate all our efforts over the years. We can improve, we can adapt, we can tirelessly learn new tactics. Can we not have another chance? We will certainly do better. Others echoed, yes, Captain, can we not push for another opportunity? No more negotiations. Zhou Zhongyi, feeling dejected, lamented. The orders have been issued from above, requiring our regiment to retain a portion of our personnel, dispersing them to various other regiments. While those due for discharge will be released ahead of schedule, including the officers, the atmosphere on site instantly plunged into despondency. Many veterans, on the brink of retirement, broke down in tears. Initially, they had believed they could remain a while longer, only to be confronted with the abrupt reality of departure. Su De felt an overwhelming sense of oppression, as though the air had been sucked out of his lungs. Suddenly, he turned to Lin Hui and asked, Did you know about this beforehand? Lin Hui sighed, expressing his helplessness. That day at the regimental headquarters, I did inadvertently overhear something. Su De forced a bitter smile, feeling as though his heart had been pierced multiple times. Yet, he did not blame Lin Hui. Had he been in the same position, he would have made the same choice. Observing the sorrowful expressions of his comrades, Lin Hui's heart grew heavier. Was another departure imminent? All right, everyone, pull yourselves together. Zhou Zhongyi suddenly bellowed. We are all men, capable of both taking up and laying down. If we falter, it is our own doing. Who instructed us to perform so poorly during the exercises? We were decimated by the Blue Army right from the start. We were given an opportunity, yet we failed to seize it. Now, we must pay the price for our mistakes. Regret washed over everyone's faces. If only they had been more cautious during the exercises, if they had not underestimated their opponents, if they had altered their marching route at the last moment, perhaps everything would have unfolded differently. Zhou Zhongyi shouted, Everyone, stand tall, lift your heads, and embody the spirit of a soldier. The banner of our Tiger Regiment was earned with the blood of our ancestors. Throughout past battles, our regiment has been scattered countless times, yet we have persevered. Today, even if we must disband, we shall do so with dignity. Thunder rumbled ominously as rain began to fall. Lin Hui tilted his head back, feeling a few drops on his face. The next moment, torrential raindrops cascaded from the sky, drenching everyone. Soon, the heavens and earth seemed to merge into a single line. Zhou Zhongyi, soaked to the bone, stood in the rain, shouting at everyone, Now, I will lead you for one last charge. Everyone, listen to my command, right face. With a swift motion, all turned in unison, gritting their teeth. In this moment, it was impossible to discern whether the moisture on their faces was rain or tears. Zhou Zhongyi surged ahead, his voice raw with emotion, Tiger Regiment, charge! Tiger Regiment, charge! Tiger Regiment, charge! Tiger Regiment, charge! Lin Hui and all others summoned every ounce of strength to unleash a fierce roar. Amidst the curtain of rain, they sprinted together towards the training ground. Chapter 78. Is our regiment no more? Shall we resort to pig farming? The rain poured relentlessly, accompanied by the rumbling of thunder. This deluge had persisted for several days, rendering the air thick and humid. Inside the dormitory, Lin Hui gazed out at the rain, sighing in resignation. Time passes so swiftly. He had heard from the veterans that in a couple of days, departures would commence. The identities of those in the first batch to leave remained unclear. Presently, anxiety permeated throughout the entire regiment. The first batch did not leave due to being reassigned to other units, but rather due to retirement or transition to civilian life. Within the ranks, the camaraderie among comrades was akin to that of brothers, yet with their departure, it was likely that they would never meet again in this lifetime. In the dormitory, sighs echoed in succession, and an air of melancholy enveloped each heart. At that moment, with a sudden bang, the door swung open. Lin Hui turned around, momentarily stunned. In leaped Wang Yong and Chun Eru, exuberantly shouting, Brother Hui. Surprised, astonished, and delighted? Did you ever think we would come? Lin Hui was utterly flabbergasted. Rising to inquire, What brings you here? Chun Eru burst into hearty laughter. We came to find you. Brother Hui, I won't be raising pigs anymore, from now on. I'll be devoted to raising you. Lin Hui nearly spat blood. Do you dare compare me to a pig? He scrutinized the pair and asked, Why aren't you at the base? How did you end up here? Wang Yong chuckled. Brother Hui, we excelled in this exercise, and upon returning, we applied to be reassigned. The higher-ups approved it, so here we are. Chun Eru nodded vigorously. Brother Hui, you have no idea how much I wanted to come and follow you. Every night, I dream of you sending me messages, saying you miss me and urging me to cook for you. Stop right there. Lin Hui hastily interrupted. I'm not dead yet, so stop with the dreams. Chen Era scratched his head. Well, I just keep dreaming about you. I wish to follow you even in my dreams. Lin Hui rolled his eyes. Who authorized your arrival? You didn't even inform me. The two exchanged glances, with Wang Yong staring blankly at him during the exercise. Didn't you ask if we wanted to join you in the 6th company? We came in response to your call, hoping to give you a delightful surprise. Chun Eru added earnestly, Brother Hui, through this exercise, I truly grasped what it means to be a soldier. Raising pigs is out of the question. It offers no future. We decided to stick with you from now on. I will support you wholeheartedly, nurturing your spirit and progressing together. Lin Hui's lips twitched, utterly at a loss for words. Seeing his silence, the duo clasped his hands, laughing joyously. Brother Hui, stop pretending. We know you must be thrilled and excited. Don't hide your joy. Laugh out loud with us. Ha ha ha. Lin Hui gazed at these two fools, rendered speechless. He forcefully shook off their hands and sat back down with a serious demeanor. The two exchanged puzzled looks and approached him curiously. Brother Hui, what's wrong? Why aren't you happy to see us? Lin Hui looked at them helplessly. Your timing is utterly unfortunate. Wang Yong blinked in confusion. Did your aunt flow? Lin Hui was nearly infuriated, and before he could respond, Chen Eru seized the opportunity to add, or perhaps it's a hemorrhoid flare-up. That can be quite troublesome and painful. My father has it. Hemorrhoids, my foot. Lin Hui smacked his head in exasperation. I'm in perfect health. The two, bewildered, asked. Then what is the matter with you? Lin Hui sighed and said, our brigade is about to disband. Wang Yong paused for a moment, then suddenly burst into laughter. Hui Gu, what nonsense are you spouting? Such a large brigade. How could it disband just like that? Do you really think we know nothing? We've been in the army for so long. We can do more than just raise pigs. Chun Eru proudly lifted his head, adding, we can also raise chickens, ducks, and even geese. Lin Hui felt an urge to kick the two of them into a ditch. One was talking about city gates, while the other was discussing axles. They were completely out of sync. He had no choice but to briefly explain the impending disbandment to the two of them. After hearing the news, their smiles gradually faded, replaced by shock. Wang Yong looked at Lin Hui in disbelief. Are you saying that we barely arrived, and now we're going to be cut? And we're the ones who came here to get ourselves cut? Lin Hui nodded. That's roughly the situation. Beside him, Chen Eru suddenly burst into tears. I don't want to go back. I haven't served long enough. I've just begun my journey on the path of glory. And a beautiful tomorrow is still waiting for me. I don't want to go home. Lin Hui slapped him lightly. Who said you're going home? I merely said it's a possibility. Wow. Chen Eru cried even louder. A possibility is still not acceptable. I just don't want to go home. I want to be a soldier. Lin Hui was utterly speechless. Eru was like a child, crying at the drop of a hat. He was already feeling troubled by the situation, and now, with these two, his irritation only grew. Wang Yong thought for a while, scratching his head. Hui Gu, how about Eru and I go back to raising pigs for now? At least we'll still be in the army and can see you again. Lin Hui rolled his eyes. Do you think the army is your home? You can come and go as you please? Then what should we do? Chen Eru asked. His face contorted in despair. I want to follow you and be a soldier king. I don't want to go home. Lin Hui sighed helplessly. What soldier king? He couldn't even protect his home. He was of no use at all. Just then, a sudden knock on the door interrupted his thoughts. Lin Hui, here. Lin Hui quickly stood up. You two stay here. The two nodded dejectedly. Oh. Lin Hui rushed out and found the company commander standing at the door. The brigade commander is looking for you. Lin Hui was taken aback. What's the matter? Zhang Jiantao looked at him oddly. It's something good. Hurry up and go. Yes. Lin Hui didn't think much of it, saluted, and ran off. As he left, Zhang Jiantao furrowed his brow slightly. This kid is quite deep. Thankfully, I didn't offend him before, or it would have been disastrous. Suddenly, he felt a chill creep down his back. He turned around and was startled to see two dark faces just inches away from him. Zhang Jiantao immediately jumped back. Damn. You guys are going to scare someone to death in broad daylight. Just as he finished speaking, Chen Eru suddenly lunged at him, tears and snot streaming down his face. Commander, I finally get to see you in person. Wang Yong joined in, both of them wailing, Commander, Commander. Zhang Jiantao was taken aback, pushing them away. Get off me. What are you two doing, lamenting? I'm still alive. Speak your minds and stop this wailing. Chen Eru wiped his snot on his sleeve, tears glistening in his eyes as he looked up. Squad leader, I was wrong. I should have been tending to the pigs from the very beginning. If the little piglets don't see me, they certainly won't eat or sleep well. Wang Yong chimed in with a pitiful expression. Squad leader, I suddenly feel guilty towards the chicks in the coop. I shouldn't have been so harsh on them, forcing them to learn basketball. If given the chance, I would teach them to sing and dance, maybe even rap. Zhang Jiantao glared at them, exasperated. What nonsense is this? You both insisted on making progress. Which brought you here? Now you want to return to pig farming? The two nodded vigorously, their faces alight with excitement. The squad leader is astute. He understands us right away. We just want to go back to raising pigs. At least if we return, we won't have to worry about being caught. After all, I would still be a soldier. Zhang Jiantao nearly choked on his frustration. After all this, was that their concern? He suspected Lin Hui had already informed them about the situation in the regiment. He waved his hand dismissively. Enough, enough. Stop worrying, you won't be cut. Wang Yong's eyes widened in disbelief. Really? We thought coming here was like jumping into a fire pit. Chen Er shook his head. But Huiga said we might be cut. Zhang Jiantao felt his liver ache from irritation. The 6th squad was once a coveted unit. And now it had become a pit of despair? Not wanting to engage with the two further, he turned to leave. But before he could take a step, they clung to him again. Squad leader, think of something. We VE followed you in the new recruit squad, and we share a bond. Blood is thicker than water. You can't just stand by and let us be cut. Zhang Jiantao, exasperated, assured them, you two will not be cut, I promise. They blinked in disbelief. We don't have much education. You wouldn't deceive us, would you? Zhang Jiantao was at a loss for words. You both earned third-class merit with Lin Hui during the exercises. Without that, the higher-ups wouldn't have agreed to transfer you here. If they truly wanted to cut you, they would have done so right away. All right, how do we not think of that? They exchanged glances. So we really don't have to leave? Zhang Jiantao rolled his eyes, speaking rapidly. Yes, yes, yes. Just stay put. Yes, squad leader. They replied, grinning and saluting. Zhang Jiantao's mouth twitched in irritation. You two are truly a couple of fools. As he turned to leave, a sudden burst of laughter erupted behind him. Wang Yong and Eru embraced, jumping with joy. We don't have to leave. Chapter 79. Giving everything to defend the Tiger Regiment outside the regiment office. Lin Hui gently knocked on the door. Come in. Upon entering, Lin Hui saluted before Zhou Zhongyi. Reporting, Commander, Lin Hui is here to check in. Zhou Zhongyi regarded him with a peculiar expression, as if struggling to recognize him. Lin Hui asked in surprise, Commander, do you have any instructions for me? Zhou Zhongyi replied coolly, someone wants to see you. See me? Lin Hui was still processing this when a sudden knock echoed from behind him. He turned his head and was taken aback upon seeing the colonel entering the room. Uncle Zhao? Zhao Yuanming offered him a faint smile and addressed the regiment commander. Commander Zhou, may I borrow your office for a private conversation with him? Commander Zhou chuckled, saying, what are you being so polite for? You two have your chat. I'll step out to fetch some water. Thank you. Zhao Yuanming nodded politely. Zhou Zhongyi picked up the thermos from the table, cast a meaningful glance at Lin Hui, and exited. As soon as he closed the office door, he shook his head in resignation. What on earth was happening? They were taking his soldiers and occupying his office. It was utterly outrageous. However, Lin Hui was indeed someone who surprised him. Zhou Zhongyi was aware of the young man's background, but had not anticipated it to be this substantial, even garnering attention from the military. Inside the office, Zhao Yuanming pulled out a chair, gesturing to the one beside him. Have a seat. There are no outsiders here. So don't just stand there foolishly. Lin Hui remained motionless, standing tall. No need. I'm perfectly fine standing. There are rules in the army. When a subordinate meets a superior, they must stand. Zhao Yuanming revealed a look of surprise. Realizing that the rumors he had heard were indeed true, you're really starting to resemble a true soldier. Lin Hui rolled his eyes. What do you mean resemble? I have always been one. Uncle Zhao, what brings you to me? Zhao Yuanming smiled slightly. Xiao Hui, I have observed your performance during your time in the army. I never expected you to develop so rapidly and transform into who you are now. It's not just me who is surprised. Even your father is taken aback. Lin Hui scoffed internally. There are many things that old man wouldn't expect. Zhao Yuanming continued. In the past, your father was strict with you. Not because he demanded you to achieve greatness, but because he hoped you would become a person of integrity, not always drifting aimlessly like a puddle of mud. This was his intention in sending you to the military for training. However, you have now far exceeded his expectations, and he is genuinely pleased for you. Lin Hui snorted. It would be a miracle if he were truly happy for me. Zhao Yuanming laughed heartily. It appears you still harbor quite a misunderstanding about your father. Now, let us get down to business. Given your newfound excellence, he wishes to transfer you back. Who? Lin Hui was taken aback. Who do you think? Zhao Yuanming said with a grin. Lin Hui was stunned. The old man wants to transfer me back to him? Doesn't he find me bothersome? What is this about? Is he trying to put me on a leash, keeping me close to monitor me? Lin Hui furrowed his brow. Is this his order, or is he seeking my opinion? Observing the stubborn expression on his face and the tension in his posture, Zhao Yuanming paused. This kid was remarkably similar to his father. Both were incredibly obstinate. Zhao Yuanming smiled gently. All right, don't look so grim. This isn't a command. Lin Hui exhaled in relief. That's good. That's good. Regardless, he is still just an ordinary soldier now. A little arm cannot contend with a big leg. If his father were to truly insist on taking him away, that would be troublesome. Zhao Yuanming smiled and said, Your father knows you well. He understands that you respond better to gentle persuasion than to force. Thus, he has entrusted me to seek your opinion on whether you would be willing to return. Lin Hui promptly declined, stating, I am not willing. Zhao Yuanming was taken aback. You refuse so decisively? Have you not the slightest desire to reconsider? No. Lin Hui replied firmly. Zhao Yuanming gazed at him in astonishment, his expression filled with questions. Lin Hui earnestly articulated, firstly, I enjoy this. Secondly, I cherish those who are here. And thirdly, I have no fondness for my father. Zhao Yuanming nearly choked on his words. He could comprehend the first two sentiments, which indicated that the young man was loyal and reluctant to part with his old unit. However, the third statement was audacious. Did he not fear the repercussions from his father? Clearing his throat, Zhao Yuanming spoke with gravity. Prior to my arrival, I had already heard that the Tiger Brigade is slated for disbandment, and you will not remain here for long. Lin Hui, with a fierce determination, retorted. Then I shall not leave. Zhao Yuanming sighed and shook his head. Xiao Hui, I understand your emotional attachment, but the entire military is undergoing reform. For the betterment of the unit, we must endure painful sacrifices. Even if you do not accompany me, you will eventually be reassigned elsewhere, and the Tiger Brigade will inevitably be disbanded. Lin Hui interrupted, his eyes glistening with fervor, fixed intently upon Zhao Yuanming. The latter felt as though he were being scrutinized by a predator, and goosebumps rose on his skin. Adopting a serious demeanor, he inquired, Lin Hui, orders from above have been issued. It is not your prerogative to decide against disbandment. Who do you think you are? Lin Hui responded earnestly, I am no one significant. I am merely an ordinary soldier of the Tiger Brigade. From the very first day I donned this uniform, I learned two essential lessons. First, to resolutely obey orders and commands. Second, to defend my unit and uphold its honor. His gaze burned with intensity as he looked at Zhao Yuanming, declaring, I have made my decision. I will dedicate everything to defend our Tiger Brigade. I love this place. It is my home. And I will not stand idly by as it disappears. Zhao Yuanming was momentarily speechless. He had initially thought that an ordinary soldier lacked the authority to defend the Tiger Brigade or to challenge the disbandment orders from higher-ups. Yet, the steadfast determination reflected in Lin Hui's eyes evoked a deep respect within him. To his knowledge, Lin Hui had only been here for a few short months. Yet he was willing to go to such lengths for the Tiger Brigade. This level of commitment genuinely astonished him. In that moment, Zhao Yuanming recalled the scene at the station when he had seen Lin Hui off. From a young man solely focused on indulgence, he had transformed into a soldier with responsibility, integrity, and deep emotional ties. This remarkable metamorphosis left him astounded. Zhao Yuanming even began to question whether Lin Hui had suffered some head injury that had altered his disposition. Looking intently at Lin Hui, he stated gravely, Xiao Hui, I do not care what methods you intend to employ, but this path will undoubtedly be fraught with challenges, and the likelihood of failure is exceedingly high. Lin Hui smiled gently, it matters not. As long as my comrades and I can make one final stand for the Tiger Brigade, that will suffice. On the island, my former squad leader once imparted to me the wisdom that if one wishes to achieve something, one must pursue it with unwavering determination. Only through exerting every ounce of effort can one soar to greater heights, reaching the destinations of one's dreams. Even in the face of failure, I would take pride in having given my all for my comrades, leaving no room for regret. Zhao Yuanming's eyes shimmered with intensity as he was about to speak, when a sudden wail from outside startled both individuals within the room. Lin Hui opened the door, only to find himself momentarily stunned. There stood the captain, clutching a thermos, tears streaming down his face. Captain, what has happened? Zhou Zhongyi pointed to his foot. A grimace of pain etched on his features. I came to deliver hot water, but my hand slipped at the door, and I accidentally scalded my foot. Here, take it. Be careful not to spill. I must make a quick trip to the medical room. He thrust the thermos into Lin Hui's hands and turned away, tears flowing freely once more. What a truly loyal soldier. To have led such a soldier in my lifetime is a blessing not only for me, but also for the Tiger Battalion. This is truly excruciating. Zhou Zhongyi shouted as he departed, wiping his tears. Zhao Yuanming observed his retreating figure, a smile tugging at the corners of his mouth. What nonsense. How could an adult be scalded by hot water? Clearly, he had been eavesdropping at the door. He turned to Lin Hui, who looked bewildered, and couldn't he help but shake his head. If he were the captain of the Tiger Battalion and heard Lin Hui's heartfelt words, he would likely be moved to tears as well. The significance of this battalion to Zhou Zhongyi is immense, perhaps encompassing his very essence. The dissolution of the battalion would undoubtedly cause him profound sorrow. It was rather opportunistic for him to come here at such a time. Lin Hui placed the thermos down, his gaze resolute as he addressed Zhao. Uncle Zhao, you should return. I have made my decision to stay. Zhao Yuanming inhaled deeply. Xiao Hui, I offer you one last chance. If you come with me, not only will you join a superior unit, but you will also be promoted immediately. However, should you choose to remain, you may be reassigned elsewhere, and there is even the possibility of prematurely relinquishing your military uniform. He chuckled softly, but this is precisely what you desire, isn't it? Lin Hui shook his head, his expression grave. I confess, there was a time when I despised this uniform, as I failed to comprehend its significance. I questioned why my father insisted on my enlistment when there are countless paths to success. One can thrive without serving in the military. For a considerable period, I regarded him as an outdated warlord who had no right to dictate my life. Zhao Yuanming's eyes twitched. Fortunately, your father is not present. Otherwise, hearing such words might provoke a heart attack. Lin Hui gazed earnestly at him. Back then, I yearned for discharge, anxious to shed this uniform and flee this cursed place. But now, I understand the meaning of donning the military attire. I cherish it as I would my own life. He clenched his fists, his resolve unwavering. This time, I wish to fight once more for my battalion. For the 6th Company of the Sharp Blades, for my comrades. I would gladly pay the price of forever relinquishing my uniform. Chapter 80. When Father Lin intervenes. Let us lend that young man a hand. Zhao Yuanming gazed deeply at Lin Hui, perceiving a transformation in him, as if he had become an entirely different person. Was this still the same flamboyant young master, whose mind was once consumed with indulgence and revelry? In Lin Hui, he discerned the most unadulterated spirit of a soldier, radiating like a brilliant beam of light, even inspiring him profoundly. Taking a deep breath, Zhao Yuanming patted his shoulder and said, Xiao Hui, since you have made your decision, go forth and act on it. Lin Hui, filled with excitement, inquired, what about my father? Zhao Yuanming chuckled, do not fret, I shall speak with your father. Thank you. Uncle Zhao, Lin Hui saluted enthusiastically. If our regiment manages to remain intact and not disbanded when we return for leave, I shall treat you to a gathering with beautiful ladies, 10 of them. Zhao Yuanming nearly choked with laughter. This lad was still as unfocused as ever. Besides, did he have to prefer older women? He was exasperated, delivering a playful punch to Lin Hui's chest. Get out of here now? Yes. Lin Hui chuckled and turned to leave. That evening, at the regiment's guest house, Zhao Yuanming ascended to the 2nd floor and gently knocked on a door. Come in. Upon entering, he saluted Lin Guangyao, who was seated on the sofa, saying, reporting, Sir, I have returned. Lin Guangyao set down his newspaper and looked up. Have you made contact with the higher-ups? I am leaving tomorrow. Let that lad accompany me. Zhao Yuanming hesitated. I'm sorry, sir. The matter did not come to fruition. Lin Guangyao paused. Taken aback, they refused to release him? No, it is Lin Hui who is unwilling to leave. Lin Guangyao sprang to his feet. A look of fury on his face. That insolent boy is still holding a grudge against me? Zhao Yuanming shook his head. Not exactly. Lin Guangyao furrowed his brow. Then what is the reason? I have set aside many pressing matters to personally come and bring him. Has he any right to act so presumptuously? Zhao Yuanming hurried to clarify. Sir, you truly misunderstand him. Lin Hui has changed from who he once was. The reason he is reluctant to leave is that he wishes to. After Zhao Yuanming completed his explanation, Lin Guangyao was left astonished. To remain with his comrades. To preserve the Tiger Regiment. He was willing to forego a direct promotion and abandon a promising future? Could he possess such profound awareness? Was this truly the same undisciplined boy? Lin Guangyao's face was one of disbelief. Did he truly say that? Zhao Yuanming nodded. Indeed, those were his exact words. Sir, I believe it would be more beneficial to keep him here than to take him away. Lin Guangyao responded with a thoughtful hum, gazing at him with intrigue. What do you mean? Zhao Yuanming smiled. Sir, I recall that when you brought him to the army, your intention was not solely to distance him from a life of debauchery, but also to help him comprehend the true meaning of being a soldier. Indeed, Lin Guangyao nodded. Acknowledging his initial thoughts, the Lin family had a legacy of military service, and he believed that the sons of the Lin family should bear arms to protect their homeland. His eldest and second sons had inherited his will and joined the military, yet Lin Hui, ever the mischievous one, had always held a particular aversion to the notion of being a soldier. In truth, he had known for quite some time that this young man was not cut out for military service. Thus, he relinquished his aspirations and wished for Lin Hui to pursue his own life. However, before embarking on his own journey, as a father and the commander of the military district, it was imperative for him to instill in his son an understanding of the sacrifices and greatness inherent in being a soldier. Only by comprehending the significance of military service to the nation and its people would Lin Hui truly cherish the present and avoid a descent into despair. Zhao Yuanming spoke earnestly. Lin Hui chose to remain, for the sake of his comrades and his unit, to face the final battle. Is this not the essence of a soldier's duty? If he cannot protect what he holds dear, how can he safeguard the nation and its people and become a truly valuable individual? Lin Guangyao inhaled deeply, leaned back on the sofa, and gazed at the ceiling in silence for an extended moment. Zhao Yuanming stood by, awaiting the commander's words. After a considerable pause, Lin Guangyao suddenly erupted into hearty laughter. How amusing, truly amusing. This young man possesses remarkable audacity. I never anticipated he would voice such sentiments. Is he truly my son? Zhao Yuanming rolled his eyes, quipping, if he is not your son, could he possibly be mine? Observing the glimmer of tears in Lin Guangyao's eyes and the smile gracing his lips, he instantly grasped the old commander's intent. Tentatively, Zhao Yuanming inquired, Commander, shall we lend him a hand? Lin Guangyao pondered for a moment, then declared, did he not seek an opportunity? Very well, I shall grant him this chance. However, whether he succeeds will ultimately depend on his own abilities. Rising to his feet, he proclaimed with confidence, throughout his life, I have endeavored to guide him along the path I envisioned, claiming it was for his benefit, yet in truth, it constrained him. Today, I shall genuinely assist him by allowing him to forge his own path. This matter, I entrust to you to arrange. Understood. Zhao Mingyue saluted, a smile illuminating his face. Lin Hui, you must seize this hard-won opportunity. The following morning, beneath the dormitory of the 6th Company, a throng of soldiers from the Tiger Brigade had congregated. Lin Hui stood at the center of the crowd, addressing everyone. Once we arrive at our destination, there shall be no disorder. We must conduct ourselves with decorum. Let us not forget, we are all soldiers. The crowd nodded in unison. Agreed, no problem. As long as we can preserve the Tiger Brigade, we will heed your directives. Lin Hui replied with a beaming smile. If we perform admirably, I am confident that our superiors will be moved and will surely grant us an opportunity. A fierce determination ignited in everyone's eyes. The night prior, Lin Hui had rallied everyone, urging them not to surrender until the final moment. For them all, this place was home, a cherished sanctuary. To depart without taking action would be unacceptable. Thus, they yearned to fight once more for their beloved home. Witnessing the fervor of the crowd, Lin Hui felt an overwhelming surge of confidence. This time, victory was within reach. Beside him, Chen Eru suddenly asked, Brother Hui, are we leaving just like this? Should we not inform the company commander or the battalion commander? Wang Yong nodded in agreement. Yes, if we proceed like this. Will we face criticism or punishment upon our return? Lin Hui shot them a glare. Do you two wish to stay with me? Or would you prefer to be scattered to other units? In unison, they replied, of course we want to stay with you. We came here hoping you would guide us and help us become exemplary soldiers. Lin Hui huffed, if you want to stay, stop with the nonsense. This is our final opportunity, and we must seize it. The two nodded vacantly, yet a hint of worry lingered in their hearts. Sudo observed them and said, stop overthinking it. The company and battalion commanders are already aware of this situation. Chen Eru paused, curious, when did they find out? Suda rolled his eyes. Are you really that clueless? With such a commotion, if they Haven T intervened by now, it means they tacitly approve. Suddenly enlightened, Wang Yong chuckled. So the battalion commander shares our sentiment. He doesn't want the unit to disband either. Of course, Suda retorted, exasperated. If the unit disbands, the ones who suffer the most are the commanders. Are we ready? Let us depart. Lin Hui commanded, and everyone lined up neatly, heading towards the division headquarters. In the nearby regiment building, Zhou Zhongyi stood at the window, observing them, his eyes twitching with anxiety. Behind him, Zhang Jiantao asked urgently, Commander, aren't we going to do something? Zhou Zhongyi glared at him. What do you intend to do? Zhang Jiantao, feeling frustrated, replied, the soldiers have gone. It would be unseemly for us, as officers, to remain behind. Wang Hai chimed in, yes, Commander, this is our home too. We have fought hard here. If we just leave like this, how can we face our predecessors? What will we say if we meet again? That the Tiger Regiment fell under our watch? Others nodded in agreement. Indeed, indeed. Bang. Zhou Zhongyi slammed his fist on the table. Silence. Instantly, everyone fell quiet, their gazes fixed on him. Zhou Zhongyi, visibly agitated, exclaimed, do you think I don't wish to fight alongside them? The disbandment of the Tiger Regiment pains me more than any of you can imagine. Zhang Jiantao suggested, Commander, why don't we take action to assist them? Zhou Zhongyi clenched his fists, his gaze fierce, internally wrestling with his thoughts. Let me think it over. In the division office, Lu Qingsong examined the roster in his hands, his expression darkening considerably. After a lengthy contemplation, he finally set it down with a heavy sigh. An officer from the regiment spoke up. Sir, please make a decision. Lu Qingsong waved his hand dismissively. I need to review this more carefully. Another officer, anxious, urged, Sir, you've been saying that for days. The higher-ups are pressing us. We cannot delay any longer. Lu Qingsong slammed his palm on the table. Do you think I want this? Involving an entire regiment. So many will be discharged and scattered. I must consider this thoroughly, or how will I explain it to them? He looked at the few men before him. How about you go? Several officers quickly stepped back, shaking their heads. Commander, perhaps it is best if you handle this matter. Lu Qingsong cast a sharp glare at them. I shall bear the brunt of the villains. During critical moments, You all turn into turtles. The group exchanged awkward glances, their faces betraying their discomfort. The most difficult part of military life is witnessing departures. With so many leaving, the disbanding of the unit. None possessed the courage to confront the reality. Lu Qingsong gazed at the list, deeply sighing, utterly at a loss for whom to choose. Every life is precious, be it in the palm or the back of the hand. Report. At that moment, a lieutenant rushed in. Lu Qingsong inquired, "What is it?" The lieutenant replied, "Commander, all the members of the Tiger Regiment have arrived. They are gathered downstairs." Lu Qingsong paused in surprise, anger flashing in his eyes. What do they want? Do they intend to revolt? Do they think they can dismiss the higher-ups' decisions with a mere commotion? If that were possible, I would have stirred up trouble long ago. The lieutenant, visibly uncomfortable, explained, "It seems they are not here to cause trouble. They merely wish to meet you." Everyone stood in stunned silence. Even Lu Qingsong furrowed his brow. "They wish to see me?" One of the officers ventured. "Perhaps they have some final requests?" Lu Qingsong nodded, resignedly rising to his feet. "Let us go. Even an ugly bride must meet her in-laws. This time, the division has indeed wronged them. We should see what these young men desire." With nods of agreement, the group followed Lu Qingsong outside. Chapter 81. The Colonel raises the flag. The Tiger Regiment requests one last battle. Lu Qingsong hurriedly descended the stairs with his men. However, upon approaching, he beheld everyone standing in orderly rows, their expressions solemn. His anger subsided instantly. Lu Qingsong surveyed the crowd and coldly inquired, "What is the meaning of this? You've blocked the entrance of the division headquarters. Who permitted you to come?" Lin Hui shouted, "Report, Commander. We came of our own accord." "What for?" "We wish to advocate for our Tiger Regiment one last time." Lin Hui's gaze was fervent, his tone resolute. Lu Qingsong scanned the crowd, appreciating their unwavering determination. He spoke earnestly, "I understand your feelings. I, too, am a soldier. Having risen from the ranks, were I in your position, witnessing the dissolution of my old unit, I would feel profound sorrow. However, the military must evolve. We must enhance our combat capabilities. Those who cannot adapt will inevitably be eliminated. The only way for our forces to advance and ultimately triumph over our foes is through development." Lin Hui replied earnestly, "Commander, who says we cannot triumph in the future? Who asserts that we must be discarded? This is unjust. I implore you to grant the Tiger Regiment one more opportunity, to allow us to prove ourselves again." "Enough." The Chief of Staff coldly reprimanded. "The commander has made himself abundantly clear. Cease this nonsense. Return at once." Lu Qingsong waved his hand, gesturing for him to hold his tongue. He then turned to Lin Hui, speaking with a hint of resignation. "I understand your distress. I share in it. However, your regiment's performance in the last exercise was indeed subpar, a fact you are undoubtedly aware of. We offered you an opportunity, but it was not seized." Lin Hui and the others' faces darkened in response. Although the Tiger Battalion was not the first to be annihilated during the exercise, it was the first to suffer an attack, resulting in a significant loss. As an elite unit of the 602nd, equipped with an array of heavy weaponry, their demise directly precipitated a dire situation for the red side. Lu Qingsong earnestly remarked, "Do not lose heart. Life is often fraught with disappointments, with misfortunes occurring more often than not. However, your journey ahead is still long. Remember this lesson well." Lin Hui, gazing at him with solemnity, replied, "Report, Commander. I was once a cowardly soldier, conscripted against my will, intending merely to serve for a couple of years before returning home. Even now, I do not consider myself a competent soldier. Yet, I understand that one must rise again from where one has fallen." Lu Qingsong observed him in silence, fully aware of Lin Hui's background. He knew that Lin Hui had been compelled by the commander to enlist. Nevertheless, from the time he entered the recruit company to the present, Lu Qingsong had witnessed Lin Hui's transformation and growth. "What is it that you wish to accomplish here today?" Lin Hui responded earnestly, "Commander, we are not here to justify our battalion. Failure in an exercise is simply that, failure. We will reflect upon our mistakes. We merely seek your permission for an opportunity to demonstrate our worth. Perhaps we still possess value worth retaining?" The others joined in fervent cries, "Commander, grant us a chance. We implore you." The officers in the headquarters furrowed their brows and began to deliberate. "What should we do? Should we send them away? I will call the guard company to disperse them." "Nonsense," Lu Qingsong retorted, turning to glare. "They are not here to cause trouble. They come to petition. Why involve the guard company? Use your intellect. What if your unit were to be disbanded? Do not dampen the spirits of the soldiers." The assembled officers bowed their heads in shame, recognizing their oversight. Taking a deep breath, Lu Qingsong turned to Lin Hui and asked, "How do you propose to prove your worth?" "Commander, watch!" Lin Hui shouted, startling Lu Qingsong. "What on earth has gotten into this lad?" Before he could process his thoughts, Lin Hui clapped his hands, and 3 seasoned soldiers promptly stepped forward with fervor. Lu Qingsong and the officers were left dumbfounded. What are you? Before he could finish, Lin Hui suddenly bellowed. Hurry, what are you standing around for? Good. The three men swiftly shed their shirts, casting them to the ground, and began to retreat. Lu Qingsong's eyes widened. What are they doing? Commander, just watch. The trio grinned mischievously, flexing their muscles with vigor. Lin Hui let out a resounding shout. Bend down. Grab the bricks. Immediately, bricks were passed forward. The officers gasped in shock. Good heavens, don't do anything reckless. Quickly, call the guard company. In the next moment, the three of them simultaneously smashed bricks onto their heads. Crack, crack, crack. The bricks shattered upon impact. Everyone was left in stunned silence. And Lu Qingsong pointed at Lin Hui, questioning, what are they doing? Lin Hui, brimming with pride, replied, Commander, while other battalions may practice hard skills, their training is merely child's play compared to ours. Our Tiger Brigade is not only tough in spirit, but also possesses a resilience that permeates our entire being. Commander, take a look. Lu Qingsong turned his head to see three individuals wielding bricks, striking at one another with abandon. They relentlessly pounded their bodies while occasionally aiming for each other's heads, which appeared quite painful. The trio shook off the stones from their bodies, baring their teeth and flexing their muscles. Commander, do you see? We feel no dizziness and experience no pain whatsoever. Lu Qingsong was nearly brought to tears with frustration. Is this what you call showing off? Lin Hui, with a serious expression, proclaimed, how could this be mere theatrics? There's more. What else you ask? Just wait. Before Lu Qingsong could grasp the situation, a group of individuals brandishing clubs suddenly emerged from behind, leaving him dumbfounded. Goodness. Quickly, protect the commander. Several officers hastily pulled Lu Qingsong back. Just 2 steps into their retreat, the assailants began striking the trio with their clubs. Crack, crack. The wooden sticks shattered upon impact, and the three shouted in delight. Refreshing. Lin Hui exclaimed excitedly. Commander, do you see how tough they are? Lu Qingsong's eyes twitched in disbelief. Did you bring these people here to perform tricks for me? Of course not. This is genuine skill. Lin Hui clapped his hands, and dozens in the crowd stepped forward in unison. In the next moment, they all stripped off their shirts, revealing their chiseled physiques. Lu Qingsong nearly coughed up blood. For heaven's sake, put your clothes back on. Lin Hui insisted. If the commander doesn't appreciate our demonstration of strength, then scale the wall so he can witness your agility. I'll go too. Commander, look how swiftly I climb. Before Lu Qingsong could react, several figures dashed forward, scaling the entrance like monkeys, swiftly ascending to the top of the gatehouse. Soon, a group had reached the flagpole on the ground, waving excitedly at him. Commander, look, we made it up here. Lu Qingsong felt a surge of blood rise in his throat. The officers in the command center were equally infuriated. Are you all here to seize the command post? You've even climbed the gatehouse. Lin Hui, brimming with confidence, stated, Commander, did you see that? Look at how agile our personnel are. Which brigade can climb as swiftly as we do? Not just these few. The entire brigade can scale heights like this. Don't move, everyone, stay still. Lu Qingsong was terrified, quickly intervening. This gatehouse cannot bear the weight of hundreds of people. He pointed to a distant group. You all, get down at once. Yes, Commander. The crowd immediately leaped down. Lin Hui stroked his chin and turned to say, if the commander is uninterested in wall climbing, let us switch to something else. Run to the small hill behind the command post and return in 10 minutes. Yes. Everyone sprang into action as if invigorated, scattering in all directions. Clouds of dust erupted, choking Lu Qingsong with the debris. While coughing, he bellowed in anger. Stop right now. If anyone dares to move, I will send them back immediately. From afar, the entire group froze in place, as if ensnared by an invisible force. Lin Hui furrowed his brow. The commander is quite particular. Why does he not appreciate any of our performances? A sudden spark ignited within him, prompting him to bellow at them. Indeed, running is a waste of time, and there's nothing to behold. Come forth and form a human tower. Lu Qingsong's eyes nearly bulged out of their sockets. Damn it. I haven't commanded you to do anything else. Can you not be so restless? By the way, what on earth is this human tower? In no time, 2 individuals rushed to the front of their commander, lying down on either side. Subsequently, others climbed atop them in reverse. A total of 6 individuals were stacked, resembling a precarious tower of blocks. Lu Qingsong stood there, dumbfounded, his jaw nearly hitting the ground. Amidst the astonished gazes of all present, Lin Hui began to shout. 1. Upon hearing the command, all 6 pressed down simultaneously and then raised their arms. Uffed. A collective gasp from the crowd, as if they were all spitting blood. Is this truly what a human tower entails? Observing these individuals behaving like acrobats, Lu Qingsong's face flushed with rage. Enough. All of you, get down and stand at attention. Can you behave for once? I am utterly exasperated with you. Lin Hui chuckled, having awaited this very response. Quickly stand at attention. The commander has permitted us to remain. The entire group swiftly gathered together, standing in formation. Thank you, Commander. Lu Qingsong felt a buzzing in his head. Now he comprehended why the higher-ups were intent on dismissing them. Each and every one of them was utterly mad, completely deranged. If they weren't dismissed, then who would be? Lin Hui approached and saluted. Thank you, Commander, for this opportunity. We shall endeavor to meet your expectations. Who granted you this opportunity? Get the hell out of here. Lu Qingsong was infuriated. Lin Hui furrowed his brow. Commander, did we not perform adequately enough to meet your satisfaction? He turned to his comrades. Brothers, let us make an even better display. As they prepared to move again, Lu Qingsong was paralyzed with fear and quickly seized Lin Hui. If you dare to move again, I will send you back this very instant. Lin Hui chuckled. Does that mean you consent? Consent? Not at all. Lu Qingsong was livid. Stop with your fanciful antics. I'm telling you, your regiment, step aside. A thunderous roar echoed from a distance. The crowd swiftly parted to either side. In the distance, several red flags fluttered in the wind. Brigade Commander Zhou Zhongyi strode purposefully forward, flanked by several battalion commanders, each wielding a flag. The brigade commander has arrived? Lin Hui's heart raced, and upon seeing those flags, his pupils constricted. Lu Qingsong was also taken aback after releasing Lin Hui. He stepped back a few paces to adjust his uniform. Brigade Commander. Zhou Zhongyi raised his flag, bypassing Lin Hui to approach the commander directly. What do you intend to do? Several officers inquired coldly. Zhou Zhongyi saluted vigorously, bellowing. Brigade Commander Zhou Zhongyi, reporting to the superior. With a swift motion, everyone behind him thrust their flags forward. In unison, they shouted, the first company of great achievement, having sacrificed 132 men in the Taibao campaign, now stands with only 9 comrades remaining, earning this flag. With that, he forcefully planted the flag into the ground. A profound tremor coursed through the hearts of all present. The company commander raised the flag and bellowed, Red 2nd Company, during the Battle of Hengshui, repelled the enemy's attacks 7 times, and ultimately, only 20 of our predecessors survived. Therefore, the higher-ups have bestowed upon us this flag. With a thud, he forcefully planted the flagpole into the ground. Each heart trembled in unison. The 3rd Company commander, Zhang Jiantao, let out a fierce roar. 6th Company, having participated in numerous battles, a total of 74 times, we have suffered casualties exceeding half each time. Hence, the higher-ups have honored us with the title of Vanguard Company. He planted the flagpole into the ground as well, his eyes glistening with emotion. The officers of the regiment stood rigid, chests puffed out, gazing gravely at the red flag in his hand, their eyes filled with satisfaction and respect. Suddenly, a tattered flag descended like a blade, slicing through the wind. 458th Regiment. Zhou Zhongyi trembled as he waved the regimental flag, summoning all his strength to shout, because of these heroic companies, because of countless predecessors whose lives have stained this flag red, the higher-ups have conferred upon us the title of Brave Tiger Regiment. The commander of the Tiger Regiment, Zhou Zhongyi, led all the key members, requesting the division commander for one last opportunity to fight for the Tiger Regiment. Thud! Everyone slammed their flagpoles into the ground, producing a profound sound. Suda let out a loud shout. Salute! All members of the Tiger Regiment stood tall, moist eyes directed solemnly towards the regimental flag. Lu Qingsong, taken aback, straightened his posture along with all the officers, also saluting gravely towards the red flag of the Tiger Regiment. Chapter 82. Wang Yishua brings good news at that moment. A series of car horns blared. Make way, make way! Hearing the voice from behind, the crowd hurriedly parted to create a path. A military vehicle slowly drove in. The door opened, and a poised young female captain disembarked, holding documents. Wang Yishua? Lin Hui widened his eyes. What is this girl doing here? Wang Yishua glanced at him indifferently, a smile playing at the corners of her mouth. She then quickly approached Lu Qingsong and saluted. Good day, Division Commander. I am Wang Yishua from the Military Information Office. Lu Qingsong was taken aback for a moment, nodding. Hello, is there something you need? Wang Yishua looked back and cheerfully said, Division Commander, it seems you have quite a lively gathering here. Could we perhaps find a more suitable place to discuss serious matters? Lu Qingsong's brow furrowed slightly. Wang Yishua, being from the Military Information Office, surely wouldn't come without reason. Holding documents in her hand, she must be carrying orders from the higher-ups. Very well, Lu Qingsong nodded, addressing the members of the Tiger Regiment. You all wait in the conference room first. Xiaozhang, please escort them over. Zhou Zhongyi grew anxious. Division Commander, you haven't. Lu Qingsong waved his hand dismissively. Just go wait there. Once I finish handling things, I will certainly come to you. Zhou Zhongyi hesitated for a moment, then nodded. All right, we will wait here. If you don't come, we will not leave. Lu Qingsong felt a headache coming on. Are you afraid I will run away? I am a division commander. Do I lack this much credibility? He reassured them. Rest assured, I will be there as soon as I am done. He then turned to Wang Yixue and said, "Let's go, we will talk in my office." As Wang Yixue took a couple of steps, she suddenly turned to glance at Lin Hui, a faint smile playing on her lips before she turned and entered. Lin Hui furrowed his brow, pondering the sudden appearance of the girl. Could it be that she was up to no good? If she were to misbehave, he would certainly give her a good reprimanding. "Follow me," he commanded, as the secretary led the group towards the conference room. Just as Lin Hui caught up, Chun Eru eagerly approached him. "Brother Hui, is the commander particularly pleased with our performance just now?" Wang Yong chimed in excitedly. "I was watching from the side, and it was exhilarating. This is far more thrilling than making a chicken dance." Lin Hui, speechless, replied, "If you are short-sighted, wear glasses. Did you not see how the commander was startled by us?" "What?" Wang Yong exclaimed, bewildered. "The commander was startled? I thought he looked as if he were about to lay an egg, and assumed he was happy." Chun Eru, concerned, asked, "Brother Hui, do we still have hope?" Observing the dejection on their faces, Lin Hui mustered a smile. "Of course there is." Their eyes brightened. "Really?" they asked in unison. Lin Hui nodded affirmatively. "Absolutely. We performed with such vigor and determination that the commander has certainly noticed our resolve. Moreover, he is not lacking in discernment. He will undoubtedly provide us with an opportunity." Just then, as they ascended the stairs, Lu Qingsong suddenly sneezed. "Who is speaking ill of me?" Wang Yong and Chun Eru rejoiced like two exuberant children, exclaiming, "We are safe. We need not worry about being caught." In the office, Wang Yixue handed a document to Lu Qingsong. As he opened it, the red stamp on the document caused his pupils to dilate in shock. A red-headed document. Lu Qingsong immediately adopted a serious demeanor, not daring to be negligent in the slightest. After a brief moment, he set the document down, his face a mask of astonishment. Has the leadership agreed to retain them? At that moment, his mind buzzed with a mix of joy and disbelief. He never imagined that a turn of events would occur at such a critical juncture. The higher-ups had clearly indicated the disbandment of the 602 unit, specifically the Tiger Regiment. How could they suddenly reverse their decision? Wang Yixue smiled slightly. "Commander, you may not have fully grasped the situation. It is not a matter of retaining them outright, but rather granting them an opportunity to demonstrate their worth." Lu Qingsong paused for a moment, then burst into laughter. "No matter. As long as there is a chance, that is what matters." I was at a loss as to how to resolve this issue. He tentatively inquired. "I am curious, why did the higher-ups suddenly alter their decision?" Wang Yixue replied earnestly. "The upper echelons considered that the Tiger Regiment possesses a glorious tradition as an old unit. To disband it casually would be unjust not only to the regiment, but to every soldier within it. If the Tiger Regiment were to vanish, how would we, the later generations, carry on the spirit of this esteemed unit?" Lu Qingsong nodded gravely. "You are right. In our division, they have the most commendable achievements. From the time of battling the Japanese to the present, who knows how many honors they have earned and how many predecessors have sacrificed. Although the orders from above must be obeyed, emotionally, I am utterly unwilling." Wang Yixue affirmed. "Indeed, the opportunity has arrived. Engage in a thoughtful dialogue with them. This is the final opportunity. Should they perform commendably, the orders may be rescinded, preventing their dissolution." LV Qingsong inquired curiously, "What will happen to the streamlining of indicators?" Wang Yixue replied with a smile, "You need not worry about that. The higher-ups will reassess and initiate streamlining from other units, carefully formulating plans anew. After all, the essence of reform lies in strengthening our military capabilities rather than merely reducing personnel." LV Qingsong beamed. "Please extend my gratitude to the leadership on behalf of myself and everyone in the Tiger Regiment for this opportunity." "I shall convey your sentiments," Wang Yixue responded, saluting before departing. "The orders have been communicated. I have other matters to attend to, so I shall take my leave." LV Qingsong nodded. "Then I shall hasten to share this good news with them. No need to see me off." With that, he grasped the documents and rushed eagerly toward the conference room. As Wang Yixue descended the stairs, she suddenly sensed someone watching her from behind. Who could it be? She swiftly turned around and indeed spotted Lin Hui emerging from behind a pillar. Rolling her eyes, she remarked, "Sneaking about in broad daylight, and you call yourself a soldier? To me, you seem more like a lecherous stalker." Lin Hui emerged with a grin. "Did you really catch on to that?" Wang Yixue scoffed. "It's evident without needing to look. It's written all over your face." Lin Hui leaned in, smirking. "So what brings you here? Planning some mischief?" Wang Yixue replied, exasperated. "Am I truly that malicious?" Lin Hui shrugged. "That's debatable. You've never been the most honest since childhood." "Not honest. Or have I been dishonest?" she retorted. "Back then, you clearly had those two assets and still wrapped them up to hide their size. Now that's deception." Lin Hui feigned seriousness. "You were hiding two big rabbits while pretending to be a little bun." Wang Yixue's face flushed crimson. This rascal dares to speak so freely. She had grown rapidly during her school years, and out of shyness, she had concealed herself to avoid drawing attention from her peers. How did Lin Hui even know about this? Could it be? Lin Hui chuckled mischievously. Look, doesn't it appear splendid now? So round and pleasing to the eye. Huh, you lecher. Wang Yishue retorted. Lin Hui laughed. How did you know my nickname? Wang Yishue was fuming. Scoundrel. Lin Hui grinned. You even know my full name. Impressive. I also have a nickname. Pervert. Wang Yishue stomped her foot in frustration. Had I known, I wouldn't have come. You should be the one facing dismissal. Lin Hui paused.